Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the program. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. We'll be live on the air in just a couple of minutes.
If you're having issues at the pharmacy, having problems refilling your prescription.
Welcome. Everyone else that's already subscribed, make sure you like the video. And I'm going to start talking about Tucker. Tucker Carlson said what no one else is saying in the national media, and it was about Ukraine, and it was spot on, right on the money. So that's what we're going to start with today.
Absolutely. We act as your family. We'll step up. We'll call the nurses station and ask for some assistance. If we can't get anything done there, we'll go to the higher levels.
Now, this is a service that you're offering. Now, they do not have to be an existing client of I Will Advisors to take advantage of this, right?
Oh, of course not. No, we're here for any Medicare client. We can assist in any way. We don't need to be your insurance agent. We're just here to help you with your medical needs.
This is an incredible opportunity for those of
All right, here we go.
Debbie at I Will Advocates will help you with your prescriptions. You'll set up doctor's appointments for them, including the primary care physician.
Good morning, everyone.
We'll assist in anything helping you find new doctors.
They'll help
No,
you with
DeSantis 2028. 2024 is Trump.
been billed wrong by your doctor. They'll step in
No.
and even help
Believe me, no one loves DeSantis more than me, but it's 28 for DeSantis. Unless he's going to be Trump's vice president, that's different.
That's exactly it.
That's amazing. I've never heard
He could be Trump's running mate in 24.
How much does this cost?
Well, for just $20 a month, you will have the security of knowing that you have an experience.
Who is everyone's
Touch of a button away.
top pick for Trump's running mate in 2024? I like DeSantis personally.
14 954 345
Good morning, Wookiees.
14, or go online. You can sign up online.
Well, I'm still doing the morning chats, David.
.com. That's iwilladvocates.com.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned
DeSantis, yeah,
of your assets to the
no doubt.
avoid proving? Call the
Rand Paul, no, not Rand Paul.
South Florida from Palm Beach Gardens.
I like Rand Paul, but
Call toll free
DeSantis
FLA 37.
is my pick. All right, here we go.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-COCAINE-1. That's 1-888-GO.
Yes. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to, of course, the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. I don't know if this is going to work, what I'm doing today. I don't know if that, I don't know, Rich, if that sound is just in my headphones or if that is what is on the air. I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, sounds fine. All right, welcome. I'm using a different mic today. That's what I'm talking about, by the way. Welcome. Well, we have a lot to talk about on the program today. Your calls are most definitely welcome at 1-888-GO-CAINE-1. And if you missed Tucker Carlson last night, you missed a great program. And I'm going to play a couple of clips. Do I have 2 or 3 clips of Tucker? I think 2. 3. I have 3 clips of Tucker Carlson, which I am going to play this morning, talking about Ukraine, and he said what I've been waiting for someone in the national media to say, the truth about what is going on in Ukraine. And he talked a lot about why are we being told to hate Putin. We'll get into that as we go on, but boy, oh boy, Biden came out yesterday, and I did catch Biden's rambling sanctions of nothing, and then I saw the wimpiest Secretary of State in the history of Secretaries of State, Blinken. You know, when you have a Secretary of State, you want a tough guy. You want a tough guy, not some, I don't know, how would you describe Blinken? I mean, weak, effeminate, is everything okay? Everything sounds fine? It sounds fine to me in the headphones, I don't know. I'll probably switch back to the other headset during the break, the other microphone. I watched Biden come out, and with he was almost awake. I guess they gave him a couple of Red Bulls before he came out to speak or something. But he talked about these sanctions on things I've never heard of. And this, I'm going to ask you a couple questions about this. One, when have sanctions ever worked in a global conflict? When? When? I don't recall sanctions ever truly working. You know, we've had sanctions on Cuba for 60 years. We've had sanctions on North Korea for 60 years, and some pretty hardcore sanctions on some of these countries. I never remember a country coming forward and saying, we just can't handle these sanctions anymore. We're going to reverse. We're not going to be a dictatorial regime. We're not going to violate people's human rights. We just can't handle these sanctions. I've never seen that happen. Have any of you seen that happen? I have not. Okay? And the sanctions he was talking about yesterday are completely 100% meaningless sanctions. You know, Vladimir Putin is a multi-billionaire whose net worth, I've heard estimated at really astronomical numbers. I mean, he's almost like a tech billionaire type. He's so rich. He's just rich. And these sanctions that Biden came out with yesterday, which of these sanctions is against Putin? You know, I saw they're doing some very specific sanctions against some of the wealthy Russians who have supported Putin and his regime. I was reading an article today that some of the members of the Russian legislative branch who voted in favor of the recognition of these countries they're carving out of Ukraine, they're talking about some travel restrictions. If Biden would have come out yesterday and when he talked about sanctions, got very specific about Putin and said that the United States and our allies worldwide will be freezing every bank account that is Vladimir Putin's money, then I'd say, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing, yeah. And, you know, Vladimir Putin, his daughter lives the life of, you know, like a billionaire heiress. And last I heard, she was running around London, but I'm sure she has places elsewhere. If I heard him say, the United States, our NATO allies, and our allies around the world are freezing all of Vladimir Putin's bank accounts and seizing and locking down all of his personal property around the world, including the flat in London that his jet-setting daughter lives in, then I'd say, wow, he's really Biden. He is really taking this serious. He's being very serious about this. Putin doesn't care about the other people's money. He doesn't even care about the country's money. He doesn't care about he's concerned about his own money. And Biden, being a corrupt leader himself, didn't want to touch the other corrupt leader, Putin's money, because maybe they'll start touching his money in Ukraine, right? Who knows? But no, those sanctions are completely meaningless. In fact, if you go through the history of sanctions, most of the time, in these countries, the oppressive leadership enjoy the sanctions. They like the sanctions. The sanctions help them. And I know a lot of people think, well, that's crazy. How can sanctions help Castro, Kim Jong-un, or Putin? It's because they make them and their country victims of oppression of whoever their opponent is. Right? You know, Yankee imperialism. You know, they don't have our sanctions. They got this embargo on us here in Cuba. We've got to fight the imperialist Yankees. Similar thing in Korea. Similar thing here. So these sanctions yesterday now, if you all have very specific examples of a country getting out of control, coming in with sanctions, and those sanctions getting them to reverse course, I am all ears. Just because I don't know of an example doesn't mean there is not an example. So our number is toll-free 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call from wherever you are from. So that's just completely, utterly meaningless, these sanctions. Okay? Yeah. Now, I will say, I don't like Biden. I never liked Biden. And a lot of you may not remember what Biden was like when he was with it in the Senate. He was one of the nastiest people ever in the Senate. You know how the senators, Chuck Schumer does it today with his reading glasses that I think have grown on, I think the skin on his nose has grown over the reading glasses on Schumer. But you know how Schumer and some of these other senators come out in the hallway and in the doorway, and they have these press conferences, and they're always yelling. That's what Biden used to do because he was a senior guy in the Senate, having been there since the War of 1812. And he was just nasty. He was always in front of the cameras screaming about some Republican somewhere. He was a very nasty person. He still is, just in different ways. So I've never liked Biden, but I'll tell you, and I don't support any U.S. intervention in Ukraine. That's crazy talk. I don't even know why we think Ukraine is something that we should be defending. You know, look at the deals they've done with Biden. It seems like a very corrupt country to me. Because I've heard not just these corrupt deals that the Biden family have going there, but I've heard of other deals that other politicians in America have going on in Ukraine. And their president over there, who's a very weird stand-up comic, a carrot top type comic as their president, what do we know about Zelensky? What do we know about this guy? I know this. Colonel Vindman thinks that we should fight for Ukraine. Vindman thinks Ukraine is right and just and we need to protect their sovereignty. Colonel Vindman, and to me, that's a good compass to take the other position when you got Colonel Vindman out there talking about how important it is for us to defend the sovereignty of Ukraine. And so far as this invasion that's going on in Ukraine right now, yeah, it's an invasion, yeah. But isn't the United States being invaded right now? You know, since Biden took office, we have a completely open southern border, very large border. They may not be coming through with tanks, but they're coming through with criminals. They're coming through with drugs. Look, you know, opioids is a problem again. The opioid crisis was no longer a crisis. It was checked. Now I'm hearing about opioid issues again. That's the southern border. Yeah, there are people that are not alive today because someone that illegally crossed since Biden took the oath of office has killed them. That's true. So how can we be concerned? And I'm asking you this as a serious question on either side of the issue. I'm not saying that I'm right about this. I believe I am, but I'm open to be corrected. But how can we be concerned about the sovereignty of a border of a country that most Americans cannot find on a map, and people don't even know how to pronounce the capital? Half the people say Kiev, and the Democrats call it Kyiv. We don't even have an agreement on the name of the capital of this country that we think is so important. You know, this isn't like Kuwait. Kuwait was important because what Saddam Hussein was doing was taking control of a very, very dangerous region with our oil supply. I know there's some resources there and Europe's getting all their energy from there. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Start the pipelines up again. Send out some more contracts so people can drill for oil around the country. We don't need anything from them. Things are much different today than they were. I see no national interest in it. And I don't understand when we have a country whose capital, the country is divided, Kyiv or Kiev. No one knows where it is. And these two new countries that they carved out. What part of Ukraine did they carve these countries out of? North, east, west, south, central? Do you know? Do you care? And how can we be concerned about the sovereignty of Ukrainian borders when we have a border that's just been completely open and the sovereignty of the American border on our southern border is violated? How many times, how many people have walked across the border just since I opened up my microphone 10, 15 minutes ago? Right? I don't know. How many? How many drugs have come across just in the last 15 minutes? How many sex slaves have been brought across in the last 15 minutes? It seems like the sovereignty of the border of the United States is not an issue. So how are we supposed to be concerned about a sovereignty of a border whose capital we don't even know the name of? Kyiv or Kiev? I'm serious about this. And they're going to, the left are going to go after Tucker Carlson today. I'm going to take our first break, and we're going to get into Tucker Carlson, who was brilliant last night. And I'd also like to take some of your calls. Our number toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call from anywhere, no matter where you are listening to us, around America, around the world, or, of course, here in South Florida. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. This year celebrating 45 years on the Florida radio airwaves, the Steve Kane Show. 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631.
Covered AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Did you know that 2 out of 5 Americans suffer from some kind of allergy?
Exactly, guys. I mean,
Runny nose, headache,
Wesley, $5 super chat. Everyone, please thank Wesley.
can be connected to an allergy. Any lab test now of Coral Springs offer allergy tests.
Good morning, Brian. Don't forget, Trump slapped some of the most severe and toughest sanctions on Iran. Their economy was in shambles.
Quick, easy, and it's painless.
That was a different situation in Iran.
No appointment needed, no doctor's order or prescription either. Just stop right in. Any lab test now of Coral Springs.
A much different situation.
55 North University Drive. That's on the southeast corner of University and Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall. Or give them a call, 954-906-5983.
I'm going to sneeze, guys. You got to bear with me.
5983. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
Hi, Brian Craig here. I'm in studio with
Ew!
Kathy.
Oh, boy.
Who's here to tell you
Excuse
about her
me.
experience with the MyPillow mattress topper.
Well, as you know, Brian, I was waking up in pain almost every morning for years and years, and we had bought a new mattress not that long ago, but it still was not doing the trick. So I said to you, let's get the MyPillow mattress.
Every time
topper,
someone
and let's
sneezes,
see if it
everyone
helps
freaks
make
out,
any
right?
Kind of a difference. And I
Yeah,
have
it's
to tell
fine.
you, after sleeping on it just one night, I woke up.
I didn't
no
hear any
pain,
noise when
I
you
felt
started.
It was in the headphone jack. It was that's all. I just switched jacks.
Pain has not returned.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Now go to MyPillow.com and order your MyPillow mattress topper and do what Kathy and I did. Use the promo code KANE at checkout. KANE. And this is an incredible deal.
I just switched mics this morning because I have my headset back here, my headset microphone, but the headset microphone's a little heavy sometimes, and I just didn't feel like having the weight on my neck.
KANE. It comes in every size too, from twin all the way up to California King. That's promo code KANE, KANE, at MyPillow.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
Yeah, and a huge update, even a better deal on the MyPillow 3-inch mattress topper, which I sleep on each and every night. If you go to MyPillow.com, click on the photograph. Just scroll down a little bit. You'll see a photograph of the great Mike Lindell holding our American flag. You click that link, scroll down. It's actually 50% off the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper. This is a flash sale. That means it's there in a flash and it'll disappear without notice in a flash. So that 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper, the thickest mattress topper that Mike Lindell makes, 50% off with our promo code KANE at checkout right now. Take advantage of that, KANE. And you can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, KANE. All right, so Tucker Carlson, Tucker Carlson, if you missed his program last night, I got 3 clips from his opening monologue, and he is spot on about the entire situation with Biden, Putin, and the Ukraine. I know it's Ukraine. They dropped the when they became independent, but when I was in school and I took geography in high school, it was the Ukraine, and that's just kind of embedded in my brain. Does it matter? My goodness. So, exactly. Tucker Carlson is being called a Putin lover. I saw some people on Twitter, they're saying, is Tucker Carlson doing his show from Russia now? He's being called a communist, a red, all kinds of things. A Rusky. Haven't heard that one in a while. And it's so interesting that the liberals are doing this. Because the Red Scare is something that the left have made countless boring movies about, like that one with De Niro, where he played a blacklisted director. I've been hearing these tales of people that were blacklisted because they were considered card-carrying members of the Communist Party, or they went to a meeting with communists and Ruskies there, and that just can't be allowed. And and taking people because they went to a meeting or said something that might be considered pro-Russian, attacking them for something, that's a Red Scare. We can't do it. Arthur Miller's The Crucible is not about the witch hunts in Salem so much as it was about the Red Scare in Hollywood. Now they're doing it again, but the liberals are bringing Red Scare 2 in, and they've been doing this all week, and it's really ratcheted up with Tucker Carlson last night. They're going to be in meltdown mode today. And that's what they do. That's what they do. And they're saying that if you don't support whatever it takes to protect the sovereignty of Ukraine, you're a Russian, you're a Putin propagandist, and you should be blacklisted. That's what they're doing. Some say, like Vindman, you're a murderer. You've got blood on your hands. You are a murderer. Oh, really? Isn't that interesting? So let me play this. This is Tucker Carlson last night on a last night's show. Last night's Tucker Carlson deserves an Emmy. He's the one person, really truly, the one person Tucker Carlson last night. I'm going to nominate him for an Emmy. Well, let's just make him Emmy nominated for this. I thought it was brilliant. Here we go.
Since the day that Donald Trump became president, Democrats in Washington have told you have a patriotic duty to hate Vladimir Putin. It's not a suggestion, it's a mandate. Anything less than hatred for Putin is treason.
Yeah. Isn't that true? There are people around the world that we don't support what they do and things like this, but Putin, why are we supposed to hate Putin so much? Can someone tell me, why are we supposed to hate Putin so much? It's a question.
The day that Donald Trump became president, Democrats in Washington have told you have a patriotic duty to hate Vladimir Putin. It's not a suggestion, it's a mandate. Anything less than hatred for Putin is treason. Many Americans have obeyed this directive. They now dutifully hate Vladimir Putin. Maybe you're one of them. Hating Putin has become the central purpose of America's foreign policy. It's the main thing that we talk about. Entire cable channels are now devoted to it. Very soon, that hatred of Vladimir Putin could bring the United States into a conflict in Eastern Europe. Before that happens, it might be worth asking yourself, since it is getting pretty serious, what is this really about? Why do I hate Putin so much?
Well, I love these questions. The best way in any type of debate, in any type of argument, to make your case and win it is asking questions. So I'll throw this out. Why do you hate Putin? Do you know why? Can you tell me? Can you articulate it? Why? I think that's a great question.
So much. Has Putin ever called me a racist? Has he threatened to get me fired for disagreeing with him? Has he shipped every middle-class job in my town to Russia? Did he manufacture a worldwide pandemic that wrecked my business and kept me indoors for 2 years? Is he teaching my children to embrace racial discrimination? Is he making fentanyl? Is he trying to snuff out Christianity? Does he eat dogs? These are fair questions, and the answer to all of them is no. Vladimir Putin didn't do any of that.
Wow. I mean, isn't that something? I'm not saying Putin's a nice guy, a great guy. I don't know. I don't care either way. But this hatred that a lot of people have towards Putin that we're supposed to all feel, you know what it is? It is textbook stereotyping and bigotry. I mean, in a way, isn't it? It's textbook groupthink. Tucker is, I may not always agree with Tucker. I may question him. That's fine. It's America. We're allowed to question. But he's questioning right now, and he is spot on. He's spot on. And let me tell you, that's just one clip. I've got two more I'm going to play here. What Tucker Carlson did last night on Fox News was not the popular thing to do, even at Fox News Channel. Fox News Channel, they've been pushing for a war pretty hard over there for all kinds of reasons. Some of it's television ratings. Maybe a lot of it's television ratings. I don't know. But they've been pushing pretty hard for this for the last couple of weeks. And he's the first mainstream credible voice over there at Fox News who's telling it like it is. He's saying, what are they? Is this the quiet part out loud? He's saying what a lot of us have been thinking, but we haven't had someone at that level in cable news saying the truth. Why are we supposed to hate Putin? What has he done to us? All right, here's the next clip. Tucker Carlson last night.
So why does permanent Washington hate him so much? If you've been watching the news, you know that Putin is having a border dispute with a nation called Ukraine. Now, the main thing to know about Ukraine, for our purposes, is that its leaders once sent millions of dollars to Joe Biden's family. Not surprisingly, Ukraine is now one of Biden's favorite countries. Biden has pledged to defend Ukraine's borders even as he opens our borders to the world. That's how it works. Invading America is called equity. Invading Ukraine is a war crime.
Wow. Wow. Isn't that something? Yeah. I mean, this is, Tucker Carlson, this is his opening monologue. I have one more clip. But this is, I don't think people realize how controversial what Tucker Carlson did last night is in the world of cable news. The cable news want a war, and they want it bad. Even Fox News. For different reasons, but they want it. And for Tucker Carlson to come out like that last night, he's the most unpopular person in the green room and in the hallways and the employee lounge over at Fox News Channel. There's a kind of an unspoken rule, when we have boots on the ground, which we have boots on the ground nearby, right? When troops are in the area, in the theater of operations, which they're right next door, you're not supposed to criticize the commander-in-chief. You're not supposed to do anything but support the troops by sending them into a combat situation. Let me tell you, what's going on over here is very dangerous. Very dangerous. And what Biden is doing is ratcheting up the danger level so much. There's a book some of you may be familiar with. It's called The Guns of August. It's about the First World War, the Guns of August. And there's a story that's told. I'm not 100% sure that this story is true, but this story has been written about in history books, that President Kennedy, when he first became president, gave a copy of this book, The Guns of August, to every member of his cabinet and his staff to read. And what The Guns of August is about, it's a history of the First World War, but it has a very, very important thesis statement to it. And what that book is about, that President Kennedy held dear to him, it's, I do believe, I don't know if he handed it out to everybody on his staff, like they say, and commanded them to read it, but he understood the book. And what the book was about is about what caused the First World War. And what caused the First World War was many things, and I know about the Archduke and all that, but what really caused the First World War was this thing that you learn. They don't teach you about this anymore, entangling alliances. And The Guns of August, this book that Kennedy was such a strong believer in about the First World War, is that the First World War happened because of these entangling alliances, when an attack on one was considered an attack on all. And what happens in these alliances, and now we have this with NATO, and thank the Lord above, Ukraine is not part of NATO, or we'd be in big trouble. But if we're in a situation right now in an area that could get very confusing, and who knows what could happen. I never thought, ever, really truly, as an adult, that a third world war was possible. They used to give us a lot of this Cold War propaganda when I was growing up in the 80s, made those movies like The Day After and things like this on television, making us think that the nuclear war was going to happen. I used to think it then. But I thought that a third world war was something that really truly would not be a possibility. What we're seeing right now in Europe with Russia and Ukraine, and this bizarre reaction of Biden to protect his business dealings in Ukraine, this is how world wars begin. And it would not take much It would not take much to escalate things beyond Ukraine and Russia. It really would not. You've got too many people. You've got too many people flying around in military aircraft. We've got too many people running around with military units and military vehicles and guns and ammo and artillery and everything else. And there could be a wayward rocket. Who knows? And the next thing you know, World War III is beginning because of a country whose capital we cannot even agree how to pronounce the capital of it. So this is beyond, listen, I don't like Biden. I don't think Biden has done anything I can think of that I've ever supported. He's always been a corrupt creep. Right? He's just a little more cognitively checked out than he used to be. But he's always been a corrupt creep, and we've always known this. Okay? But this is beyond partisan politics. What Tucker Carlson is saying here is spot on, right on the money. Now, I'm going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. I got one more clip of Tucker's, which I've not played yet. I will play that. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. I want to hear your thoughts on what I've said in this first half hour of the program, what you've heard from Tucker Carlson, and your thoughts about the conflict in general. 1-888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call. 1-888-465-2631.
Dr. Matez here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous erection injection, an extremely effective treatment for erectile dysfunction made popular right here on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now available at the Biostation West Delray. Our custom compounded products yield combinations and dosages that increase the efficacy of Viagra and Cialis greatly. We also offer treatments that can...
Good morning, everyone. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and everyone, like the video, please. Steve Kane Show. Hold on. Steve Kane Show. Hold on.
The Biostation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
Steve Kane Radio listeners love...
Wesley Lewis, $10 super chat. Everyone thank Wesley for that super chat. I agree with Tucker to a point. However, he is a bad dude. Russia, China, and Iran are now the new axis of evil, which is much more deadly than we saw in World War II because it will de-superpower the U.S. soon. Well, are we really a superpower under Biden right now? I would say no. Not till Trump's back in 24.
Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca will never do a repair on your car that your car doesn't need. And their prices are low. Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca. Give them a call. 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Veterans and spouses of veterans, you may be entitled to benefits that you are not aware of, including long-term care benefits. Call attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group and find out what benefits are available to you. With offices in Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale, call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782. 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. All right, let's go to the phones. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How are you doing today?
Oh, hey, Wisconsin Gary. How's it going, Wisconsin Gary?
It's going good. Dealing with a little snow here and there up in Wisconsin, but I I got the truck washed yesterday, and it went through the snowstorm, so I got it all dirty again.
Oh, my goodness.
Back down to Ohio, but
Wow.
just to kind of, when you were on the mic, I went on to the iHeartRadio a little bit. It actually, on iHeartRadio, it makes your voice sound just a little bit deeper, so I don't know if you want to...
Oh, really? My voice sounds deeper. It sounds like, so with the microphone I'm using, it sounds like I've gone through puberty.
Well, I don't know. You've already passed that, I think.
Yeah.
But, anyways, as you were talking about Putin, I don't have any hate for the guy. He's done nothing wrong. I don't know why the U.S. should be remotely involved. Marie Boteromo was on last night talking about the sanctions, and Putin's already going through sanctions already. But if you think about it, granted, if the U.S. puts sanctions on and certain other countries put sanctions on them, it doesn't really stop Putin from buying product from anywhere else that don't put sanctions on them. So Putin's already been used to having the sanctions put on him, and if now they're going to make them a little bit stiffer just because of everything that's happened with the UK. But I think it was yesterday's show you talked about, like in '91, the UK used to be in the Federation, in the Russian Federation. What difference does it make 11 years later? What happens with the UK?
Ukraine, yeah. You're right.
Wasn't the UK supposed to be getting left out of Brexit or something?
Ukraine, the Soviet Union was kind of made up of different republics, like states, right? Georgia, Russia was one, Siberia, the Ukraine was another, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine is to Russia what, Florida or Wisconsin is to the United States. It was a state that broke away and declared its independence, and Abraham Lincoln said states can't do that. We went to war over it. So basically, Putin with Ukraine has a similar opinion of Ukraine that Abraham Lincoln had to the southern states. Can't leave the Union.
But for the U.S. getting completely involved, because Shauna did some research last night about the UK and everything. I think Biden is more or less worried because, in a way, what's going on, it sounds like more or less like Putin is turning more into a globalist than anything. And I don't know for a fact that that's going to end up happening that way, but for the U.S. being remotely involved in it, and I think in another way, if the UK ends up going to the Soviet Union, I think a lot more of that corruption is going to come out of the UK if Putin gets his hands on to the UK, and I think it could expose maybe Biden that much more.
Well, I'll tell you, Gary, what I've been talking about a lot in the last week or so when we talk about Ukraine. What's going on here isn't about Ukraine. If Putin wanted Ukraine, he would have taken it a long time ago. What Putin is doing is testing the United States to see if the United States is still a superpower for his allies in China. I mean, that's what's going on here. And I would say no. At the top of the show, and I talked about this on my podcast last night, which you all should be listening to, the Brian Craig Show podcast, named the number 3 must listen to conservative podcast. Number 1, Glenn Beck, or number 1, Mark Levin, 2, Glenn Beck, 3, the Brian Craig Show podcast. But what Putin is doing is testing what America will do, and America isn't doing much. If Biden would have come out and said that the United States and our allies are freezing Vladimir Putin's bank accounts around the world and seizing his properties during this crisis, until that would have been something. None of these sanctions hit Putin in any of his. The guy's worth like $100 billion or something, and that. Yeah, he doesn't he? Wow, maybe when Trump's back and they have a summit at Mar-a-Lago, he can play the piano at Trump Doral or Mar-a-Lago. But when a guy has as much money as Putin, he has money in bank accounts all over the planet, and he does own properties around too. If they would seize and freeze those, that would at least be meaningful in a sanction way. But Putin doesn't care about sanctions on the country as a whole, or members of their legislature, or other rich people in Russia. None of those sanctions are against him.
Right. And it's like I just don't see why the U.S. should even care. I mean, the only one, if it's going to enrich anybody, if they do go to a war, is Raytheon. Raytheon makes bombs.
Yeah.
Because I used to work for a company that was owned, Raytheon bought out a dishwasher company called Speed Queen, which is a commercial company. And at that time, when the Iraq War was there, we were put on basically lockdown in the building. We couldn't go outside with security. But Raytheon is a very big one that's going to really benefit out of that, or any other company that makes any kind of military bombs or whatever else. They're the only ones that are going to benefit.
Well, what Tucker Carlson made some great points, and one of the what are we doing in Ukraine? Are we protecting the sovereignty of Ukraine or Joe Biden's corrupt business dealings in Ukraine? Which are we protecting here?
Yeah, that's just it. But I'm glad Tucker, has stood up for that, and I believe in Tucker a lot more than I will believe. Basically, I'm going to reword this because of the fake news media, the insurrectionist media, because they want to point everything towards an insurrection. But it's like they're putting this narrative thinking that we're going to go to war. But like you said, Putin is testing us to see whether or not this incompetent president is actually going to do something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
If Trump was in office, this would probably have never happened.
No.
Trump would have actually had to sit down with him. And, like you said, I think it was in a podcast 2 days ago or so, that if Putin and Biden were probably in the same room, I would almost think that Putin would probably sit there, smile at him, get up, and do the same thing like Biden has done to the American people and walk them.
That's right. That's right.
What would have happened.
All right, Wisconsin Gary, take care. Thanks for the call. Yeah. All right. Great call from Wisconsin Gary. Some very interesting content and very useful analysis of the situation. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. Yeah, I got to tell you about the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the MyPillow. That's Mr. Mike Lindell. And I've told you guys, Mike Lindell and MyPillow have stayed in business for one reason and one reason only: the support that MAGA has given to MyPillow. They're kicked out of all the retail stores in the United States and Canada. They're kicked out of the home shopping channel, QVC, here in America. Their equivalent television shopping networks in Canada. They've been shut out. Mike Lindell, he was on QVC like all the time. How many times did you see him on In the Kitchen with David and all that? Yeah. They canceled him. Why? Because he, like you, supports Trump. And and it's been a tough time. But you have answered the call and stood up and supported Mike Lindell and everything that he stands for. And when you go to MyPillow.com and use our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, you're not just supporting Mike Lindell, President Trump, but you're also supporting this program. And that's a good thing. When you use our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, no matter what it says, you can take advantage of. That's right. I want to tell you right now, though, about the 100% Giza cotton dream sheets. I have 4 sets of these, 2 regular and 2 flannel. They are at the lowest price ever, as low as $39.99, which is 60% off. It's the lowest price ever. That's right, and it's a great deal with our promo code KANE. And, when we first got the MyPillow 100% Giza cotton dream sheets, and they are 100% Giza cotton, the finest cotton in the world, and no matter what the temperature is in the room or outside, you are the perfect temperature with these MyPillow sheets. It's amazing. Perfectly regulates body temperature. Mike Lindell is a genius inventor with these products. And like every product from MyPillow, everything is high quality. I got my daughter, she flew out to California this week. We got her one of the MyPillow neck pillows, which is a discount as well with the promo code KANE. And she loved it. She flew out to California. She called us when she got there. She's like, wow, this MyPillow neck pillow is amazing. Absolutely, we got it for her for Christmas. But the Giza cotton dream sheets, the first thing I noticed about them is how well they fit on the bed. Now, we have a queen-size bed at home, and that bottom sheet, man, I tell you, when you're making a bed with regular sheets, other than the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, and you're putting on that bottom sheet, you know how difficult it is to get all four corners on. You'll get three corners on okay, maybe not fully, and that fourth corner takes sometimes your entire body strength to get on. And you never get it on all the way. It's barely over. And there have been so many times when I've been making that bed with the bottom sheet before we had the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, and I'm pulling on that fourth corner so hard with both hands and all my strength, I'm terrified my fingers are going to slip and I'm going to fly backwards into the wall, or fly back, depending on which corner I'm in, or fly back into the dresser, and the corner of the dresser goes on my back. You know what I mean? With the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, all four corners not only fit perfectly, total ease and no effort to do it. You can just use 2 fingers and a thumb for all four corners. Boom, 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 and boom. That's with or without the mattress topper. They're perfect sheets. So right now, the lowest price ever, 60% off on the MyPillow Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, as low as $39.99 with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E.
Brian Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire.
I had 2 ball tires in the back of my Infiniti. So I called them up, and I feel like I always check prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price?
And
Half the price.
Yeah, I'll get into the convoy stuff in the next hour.
not only that, this time.
That's on my stack of stuff.
Any mileage guarantee.
If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, and everybody else, make sure you like the video, and if you're already subscribed, if you could click that notification bell, that helps me out a lot too.
That's right. So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000-mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
Everybody should go. I don't know how anybody can buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices.
That's right. That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, 49 minutes after the hour, I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I'm using a different mic today instead of my normal headset mic with some very light headphones, and this is much better. I switched out microphones today because, you know, my headset is heavy. I have a headset microphone that I normally wear. It's one like you see the sportscasters wear, you know, during football games and stuff. And it's a very good microphone headset. It's very expensive too, but it's heavy. And I had a bit of a headache this morning, and I want to give my head a break. I don't want to put a bunch of weight on my head, so I'm using this other microphone, and I kind of like it with the lighter headsets. I feel like I'm almost naked standing here. I do. I feel lighter, like I'm on a nude beach or something. Not that I know what it feels like to be on a nude beach, but I imagine being naked in public feels something like not having this 30-pound headset on my head. I know. Anyway, welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. We're talking about last night's Tucker Carlson opening monologue about Ukraine that was spot on everything he said. Very risky thing he did last night. And I do believe that last night's opening monologue is deserving of an Emmy nomination. I mean, it was that good. And I have 3 clips of it. I played 2, but I played them early on. So I'm going to start, I hope you guys don't mind, for people that are just tuning in, I'm going to play the first 2 clips and then play the third here in the final segment of the first hour of today's program. This is Tucker Carlson's opening monologue last night on Ukraine.
Since the day that Donald Trump became president, Democrats in Washington have told you you have a patriotic duty to hate Vladimir Putin. It's not a suggestion, it's a mandate. Anything less than hatred for Putin is treason. Many Americans have obeyed this directive. They now dutifully hate Vladimir Putin. Maybe you're one of them. Hating Putin has become the central purpose of America's foreign policy. It's the main thing that we talk about. Entire cable channels are now devoted to it. Very soon, that hatred of Vladimir Putin could bring the United States into a conflict in Eastern Europe. Before that happens, it might be worth asking yourself, since it is getting pretty serious, what is this really about? Why do I hate Putin so much? Has Putin ever called me a racist? Has he threatened to get me fired for disagreeing with him? Has he shipped every middle-class job in my town to Russia? Did he manufacture a worldwide pandemic that wrecked my business and kept me indoors for 2 years? Is he teaching my children to embrace racial discrimination? Is he making fentanyl? Is he trying to snuff out Christianity? Does he eat dogs? These are fair questions, and the answer to all of them is no.
Wow, yeah, I mean, what? Yeah. Why are we hating Putin so much? Why should we hate him? What has he done to us? You know, remember when they used to talk about in the 80s, in the 90s, anytime there was any type of military buildup or the possibility of conflict, they would tell us, remember the lessons of Vietnam and the lessons of the Iraq War of 2004, not Gulf War I and 91, Gulf War II. And one thing we learned in the Iraq War is that our most trusted leaders, at the time it was Bush and Cheney, who I voted for twice and supported, are liars. And will get you hating on someone to go to war. And another lesson, is this. Unless we're attacked, what are we going to war for? That's the lessons of Iraq War II, Gulf War II, the 2004 war in Iraq, with the lie of the weapons of mass destruction. That's right. And now we're getting lies about Ukraine. That's clip one. Here's Tucker Carlson, clip 2 from his monologue last night.
So why does permanent Washington hate him so much? If you've been watching the news, you know that Putin is having a border dispute with a nation called Ukraine. Now, the main thing to know about Ukraine, for our purposes, is that its leaders once sent millions of dollars to Joe Biden's family. Not surprisingly, Ukraine is now one of Biden's favorite countries. Biden has pledged to defend Ukraine's borders, even as he opens our borders to the world. That's how it works. Invading America is called equity. Invading Ukraine is a war crime.
Yeah, you know, and a couple things there. Is Ukraine a money laundering operation for corrupt American officials like Joe Biden? A lot of people think it is, like the car wash in Breaking Bad. Right. Why is Tucker Carlson invading the American border, the United States border? Well, that is equity, but this is something else. Why is that? Are we not being invaded every minute of every day? And here's the third clip I haven't played yet. Tucker Carlson's opening monologue last night.
The administration assures us this has nothing at all to do with repaying Joe Biden's personal debts to Ukrainian oligarchs. Not at all. It's completely and totally unrelated. The point here is to defend democracy. Not that Ukraine is a democracy. It is not a democracy. Ukraine's president has arrested his main political opponent.
Oh, did he really? Yeah. Well, sounds like what Trudeau and Biden have been doing over here, right?
He has shut down newspapers and television stations that have dared to criticize him. So in American terms, you would call Ukraine a tyranny. But Joe Biden likes Ukraine, so Putin bad, war good. How will this conflict affect you? Will it affect you quite a bit, actually. Energy prices in the United States are about to go way up. And that means that everything you buy will become much more expensive. From the food you eat, to the car you drive, to tickets you need to take your family on vacation this summer, assuming you can still afford vacation by then.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's Tucker Carlson last night. And, you know, I pulled those 3 clips off the monologue, and I thought they were very powerful, very risky for him. And, you know, Biden was talking about, he said a couple things. He said, who the hell does, this is a quote from Biden. He says, who the hell does Putin think he is, carving out 2 countries out of a sovereign country's territory? Well, who do these Latin American migrants think they are? Who the hell do they think they are, walking across into Texas or Arizona or California and setting up a life here? that we're paying for? Who do they think they are? That they can just come here and set up shop and change the demographics of cities and states and while they're sucking off of our social support system? Who do they think they are? That's right. That's absolutely right. Oh my goodness. I just, I don't always agree with Tucker Carlson, but I agree with him now. And I agree with what he said last night. And I recognize the risk that he took because Fox News Channel as a whole and at the management level want war. They want a war. They used to teach us in school. You got to understand, the curriculum and all of our education system, pre-K through graduate school, is all put together by Democrats, unless you're going to Hillsdale or something. But they used to tell us that there was a flaw with capitalism. It's a great system, but it has a flaw. Do you know what they used to tell us? They used to teach us in school. This was in textbooks in social studies class that I had in school. The flaw with capitalism is you need a war every 50 years to keep it going. That's right. So that's what's going on here. Oh yeah, we can't pay back our donors with the Build Back Better. That failed. Can't do it. But we can pay a lot of them back with military contracts and other contracts that they get from the government when there's a war-like situation going on. And there's a mass military operation going on, and a lot of Democrat and Republican donors are making boatloads of money off this already, I promise you. Including corrupt people like Biden, who are keeping their corrupt business deals in Ukraine safe and secure. And I do believe that Biden not targeting any of Putin's personal wealth around the world in sanctions, even though they're singling out individuals that have supported him and not him, it's a signal to Putin, I won't touch your money, you don't touch my money. So if Putin takes over Ukraine, what Biden's trying to do here? He really doesn't mind if Putin takes over Ukraine, just so long as his corrupt business dealings are intact in Ukraine. He doesn't care who runs Ukraine, as long as his money's safe. And that's why he doesn't have a single sanction on any of Putin's personal wealth around the world, even though they are targeting individuals and families who they say have supported Putin. They're not touching his money because Biden doesn't want Putin to touch his money in Ukraine. Oh my goodness. It's hard to believe that what is happening, but you know what? It is. 1 hour down, 2 to go. It's Wednesday morning, February 23rd, 2022. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's K-A-N-E. And the number 1-888-465-2631. I want to hear your thoughts on everything I brought up in the first hour. I am going to move on and bring up some other topics as the show goes on, but you are welcome to call in about Ukraine, your thoughts, in particular Tucker Carlson's brilliant take on everything going on right now involving this issue. 1-888-465-2631. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. We'll be back. Hour number 2 begins now.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Brian Craig here. You've heard Steve Kane talk about the great job Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting did on his new roof. We have on the line John from Wellington, one of our regular callers. He just had his roof repaired by Laporta Contracting, and he wanted to share his experience.
Thanks to the Steve Kane Show, my roof repairs were just completed by Laporta Contractors. They were fast, professional, and the cost of the repairs was very reasonable. I had 4 sections of roof repaired, and upon initial inspection, they were honest and told me that my roof was good and I didn't need a new one. I called many roofers, and they were all scammers. They all wanted to put on a new roof, and they said they wouldn't repair what I had. Thanks, Brian.
Brian. Another fantastic sponsor.
Wow, that's an amazing testimonial from John in Wellington. Tom Laporta at Laporta Contracting will never sell you a roof that you don't need. Give him a call for a no-charge inspection of your roof. 954-604-4602. That number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaContracting.com. Did you know that 2 out of 5 Americans suffer from some kind of allergy? So it's likely that fatigue, runny nose, headaches, intestinal problems, and a general lousy feeling can be connected to an allergy. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton offer allergy tests that can detect over 125 airborne, food, and environmental allergens. Allergy testing is quick, easy, and painless. Results can be shared with your physician or
Steve Kane Show.
No doctor's order or prescription is necessary.
All right.
No appointment either. Just walk right in. Any lab test now of Boca Raton is located at 23016 Sandalfoot Plaza on the east side of 441, just a few doors down from Western Beef. If you have any questions, call 561-237-5009. 561-237-5009. Any lab tests now of Boca Raton. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
I'm Dr. Janae.
I'm Alan Knight.
You love listening to Steve Kane and Brian Craig for your daily dose of political pandemonium. Now you need a cure for the resulting anxiety and depression. Join us for the perfect prescription to help you cope with the world.
Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday nights at 11.
If you want answers about love, anger, pain, and relationships, join us for your chance to...
Good morning, everyone. If you're just joining us, make sure you like the video, subscribe, click that notification bell.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by
One of my least favorite callers is on hold. He used to call all the time, and he stopped calling, and believe me, I was very happy. I'm going to take his call now, though. He's a very strange dude.
You are listening to South Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll free, dial 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's 1-888-GO-KANE-1.
You'll find out in a second, Dean. All right, hour number 2 has begun. Oh, man. 1-888-GO-KANE-1's our number. Don't forget, Friendly Tire in Margate. I've been buying tires at Friendly Tire in Margate for over a decade. And on new and used tires, you will not find prices any lower. You know, they have thousands of used tires in stock, starting at just $30 for most sizes. New tires, as low as $70 a tire, and that is out the door and on the road. Because Friendly Tire, they don't charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or even dispose of your old tire. Okay? The price that Friendly Mike gives you over the phone is out the door and on the road. He can get all the name brand tires you love, too. Firestone, Bridgestone. If you have run flats, oh, man, you're going to want to call Mike at Friendly Tire in Margate. He has the lowest prices on run flats. My wife has run flats on her car. If we didn't know Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire, I would have said we cannot have a car with run flats because run flats seem pretty cool, right? Till you go to one of those tire shops around town and you're like, what the heck? Not at Friendly Tire in Margate. He has the lowest prices on run flats. And, I see all kinds of vehicles over there. High-end vehicles. One of our listeners was recently in Friendly Tire with a Rolls Royce. That's right, buying new tires at Friendly Tire on a Rolls Royce. We had another listener over there with a Porsche, one of those Porsche SUVs that cost more than some of our houses. And sometimes I'll run into listeners that have rust buckets with no air conditioning that I don't even know how they're on the road. But everyone goes to Friendly Tire in Margate because there's nothing more overpriced, especially in this inflationary world we are in, than tires. But Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire, even with rising prices on everything, the supply chain crisis, and even oil, which affects the tire price, he is able to keep his prices low. So give him a call. He'll give you a quote right over the phone. Here's the number, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Tell Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire you heard him on the radio. 954-977-9445. All right. Rick the Deficit Hawk, good morning.
show this morning. I think, like Tucker Carlson, you're on fire. You're on point, man. Keep it up.
Well, when you're agreeing with me, I have to really review. Maybe I got to re-listen to the first hour of the program and reflect on what I've done, because I never recall you ever approving with a single syllable that I've broadcast before. So
that's a hyperbolic statement on your end. That is not true. But let's move on. I really called to correct Wisconsin Gary, who, like me, is from Wisconsin. I appreciate his calls, but when he says UK, other listeners are going to think the United Kingdom, which is England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Ukraine is a separate entity.
Well, he misspoke, and I corrected him on it. He certainly doesn't need you to correct him and show how smart you are. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, last item. In closing, why don't you try to get Marjorie Taylor Greene on your show? She's on Alex Jones's show.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Because you want me to?
That's ridiculous.
In fact, she was coming on in the next segment, but I might have to reschedule it.
Yeah, I want to hear a little bit more of what she was brilliant as well.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is always brilliant. I love Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's spectacular.
Did you catch her on Alex Jones's show?
I did not.
She was brilliant.
I'm sure she was. She's always brilliant. All right, take care. Rick the Deficit Hawk. Oh, my goodness. Who is also from Wisconsin. But he winters in Florida, and he has a business that doesn't do too well in the wintertime in Wisconsin, so he comes to Florida. And I met him once. We made a mistake once, many years ago. We made a very big mistake. We invited Rick the Deficit Hawk in the studio. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. And I remember he was wearing those, I don't know what you call those pants. I've forgotten what you... Remember those pants that guys used to wear in the early 90s that were kind of like puffy, like MC Hammer pants, but they had like designs on them? Sometimes a guy would have like those since like 93, like 92, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Anybody remember what those are called? I don't know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Doug.
No, they are not cargo pants. No, those puffy pants. They kind of have the same shape that the MC Hammer pants had. I don't. Do you know what I'm talking about, Doug?
Yeah, exactly. But I was glad to see those things.
Oh yeah, not parachute pants. I used to have parachute pants. They weren't parachute pants. I never wore these kind of pants. They're like puffy on the top, and then when they get down to the lower leg, they're a little tighter. I can't remember what they were called.
I don't know the name either, but they were the ugliest things I've ever seen. But anyway, Chelsea Gabba comes on, I guess you saw it, and she's saying there's going to be a nuclear war, perhaps. One thing I can guarantee is that Putin is supposed to be one of the richest people in the world. He doesn't want to have his country leveled and lose all his way of life. That'll never happen. That's ridiculous. She's terrible. What I want to know is, didn't we send billions of dollars worth of equipment and weapons over to Ukraine? And here they come, the Russians. Here comes the Russians crossing the border, and nothing happens. You know,
and you're right on the money. And I'm the press. They're not getting into this too much. I want to know how many. They got to word this carefully because they have all these code words, but. We have sent cargo planes, many cargo planes, and this hasn't just been happening the last couple of weeks, it's been happening for a long time, of high-tech military equipment to Ukraine for their military. Well, do they know how to use it? How many American service personnel, whatever they call them, I don't know if they'll call them advisors like in Vietnam. I'm sure they've got some word that means something else other than soldier. But how many American service personnel or American citizens are in Ukraine showing them how to operate or maybe even operating this equipment? You know, in Ukraine, some of them speak English, but their primary language is what? Ukrainian? Right? I don't know. It's not English, and all of the equipment we send over there, isn't it all in English? So, you know, everything's computerized these days. So how can these Ukrainian guys right out of high school in Ukraine operate an American tank or something? Everything in it is in English. They got to have our guy. There have got to be American military personnel, American citizens from military contractor. There's got to be Americans embedded in the Ukrainian military to operate all this equipment. Everything's computerized and everything's in English.
Yeah, and we left billions of dollars worth of stuff for the Taliban. Now I guess we're going to leave some billions of dollars worth of stuff for the Russians. So
Yeah, why not? Hey, as long as the military industrial donors to the DNC and the RNC get their contracts with the government, who cares who gets it?
That's for sure. That's for sure. I guarantee that's what's going on. You know, then I never listened to Glenn Beck, but he made a good point. He says, you know, the Russians are saying that they're going in not to be aggressive. They're going in to protect them against all the crimes that the Americans are doing over there. So
I don't know. Oh, you mean yeah? Well, how do you know if you never listen to Glenn Beck? How do you know that he made a good point?
Well, I listened to him. I happen to catch him as I.
Maybe Doug, it's more accurate to say I never listen to Glenn Beck except when I'm listening to Glenn Beck. Right?
It happened to be I turned on the radio when I was driving.
Oh, one of those radio accidents. I know. I hear from listeners all the time that they never listen, but they have radio accidents all the time, and you know.
All the crime that Joe Biden is doing, he's trying to protect them from Joe Biden and all his crimes. So, you know, this is
Didn't Pelosi have some Ukrainian deals too? Who are some of these politicians currently in office that have Ukrainian deals?
Yeah, I think Hillary had some Ukrainian deals going on there as well, but I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, if anybody can remember what that, it's driving me nuts now. The name of those funny pants that guys used to wear that Rick the Deficit Hawk wore when he came into the studio years ago, when they were many years out of style.
I'll try to think of it and call you back tomorrow. I'll let you know if I come up with it.
Okay. All right. Take care. Yeah. I mean, I could Google it. I don't want to. I don't even. What would I Google? I wouldn't even know how to Google that. Tell you the truth. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Lauderdale.
Hey, Lauderdale. What's going on?
Brian?
Yes.
Hey, the answer to your question is Zubas. The pants are called Zubas.
Zubas? That doesn't sound... Those are the funny ones where guys would have, like, designs on them?
Yeah, I had a pair, Brian.
Oh, my goodness.
In front of me. I know what they're called.
You wore those things? What was the design you had on yours?
I had orange and white zebra stripes.
Oh, my... Yes, the zebra stripes. Yes. All right. Take...
I'm going to go get a new pair.
Where are you going to get those at? Oh my goodness. All right, take care. I never wore I did have parachute pants. I did have those. And remember parachute pants? I remember that, and you would move them like shh, 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 shh. And I remember I had parachute pants and went to a family event, and my uncle said, "What are you wearing? What are you going up on the space shuttle or something with all those pants?" Anyway, good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Aaron from Parkland.
Aaron in Parkland. What's up?
The pants?
What are the pants called?
I think they're called Zumba pants.
The other guy said Zumba. Zumba? Isn't that Zumba? Zumba? Okay. Did you ever wear those?
Negative.
Yeah, me either. No. All right. All right. Take care. Yeah, everybody remembers those. Oh yeah. Zumba, like Zumba. Okay. Oh, my goodness. That's a fashion that I hope never comes back. All right, listen, I'm going to take our break, and I'm going to get back on track with the news. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show, Flo Rida's longest-running radio show. Indeed, it is. On the radio since 1977. Our number's toll-free from anywhere, 1-888-GO-KANE, 1-888-465-2631.
You've heard Steve Kane talk about the great work.
Zumba, Z-U-B-A-Z. I'm getting different...
Driver called Steve Kane on the air and told him about his experience at Brighton Dental.
Good morning. I have to talk about Brighton Dental.
Let me look. Zumba... Let me see.
Is a miracle worker. I broke my tooth. I fractured it and went backwards in my mouth. Oh my front top tooth. I
Nah.
New York 2 days later, and I said, what am I going to do, you know? The dentist here wanted to charge me $120 just to look at it.
Zumba, Z-U-B-A-Z. Yes.
I traveled 139 miles. I would do it again in a heartbeat, each way. Okay? The man sat and worked on my...
Yeah, I see some listings on Etsy.
Put a pen in it. Back to the matter, this is what really was unbelievable. I was getting on the bus to go to the reception, okay? In New York.
Yeah, that's right.
Knew I was in New York. The phone rings. Who do you think's on the line?
Dr. Gupta.
Right. He wants to see if everything...
Zumbaz, Z-U-B-A-Z.
The guy is unbelievably wonderful. I mean, thank you so much. I wouldn't have been able to eat. I wouldn't have been able to go. I would have looked like a pumpkin.
Everybody needs a great dentist, and of course, for you Steve Kane listeners, you have one, Dr. Gupta, and he's over there at Brighton Dental. He takes really good care of you. He's very conscientious. He's, dentistry is an art when you stop and you think about it. And Dr. Gupta certainly is an artist, and we're so pleased to have him with us.
Yeah, I just wanted them to know if you need a dentist, and the guy is so good at what he does, he's so gentle. And
Zumba, Z-U-B-A-Z. Yep.
Show. And I'm going down to him.
Steve Kane Show.
Put in, but right now, I don't
Hold
have
on.
any pain. I can eat anything I want. Incredible.
Take Richie the bus driver's advice and go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. Call 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by any lab test now of Boca or
Hey, like this.
now of Coral Springs. They
Those are the
offer
pants.
COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any lab test now of Boca is
Zubaz, Z-U-B-A-Z, Zubaz.
south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any lab test now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983.
Where are you calling from?
Joe from Coral Springs.
Hey, Joe.
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
I think Biden wants Russia in Ukraine. That way nobody could find out just how corrupt Hunter and Hillary was with Ukraine.
I don't know. I think we all know how corrupt Biden was with Ukraine, and no one cares. Why should Biden's been doing corrupt crimes since '73? Why is he worried now? By the way, the pants are called Zubaz, Z-U-B-A-Z. Z-U-B-A-Z are those funny pants from the 90s that Rick the Deficit Hawk wore to the radio station. What I was talking about in the last hour about the sanctions, and I think this is a good point to be made, okay? I'm not being light of this. Biden announced very specific sanctions on Russia, in particular on individuals and the individuals' families. They're putting sanctions on wealthy Russians who have supported Putin, and there's another update, and their families. There's another update that members of their Duma, their legislative body in Russia, that those members who voted in favor of recognizing these two new countries they've carved out of Ukraine, that those legislative members and their families will now have restricted travel posted upon them by the United States and our NATO allies, their families as well. And I was talking about, they're being very specific about individual sanctions on people, which is a new thing in this world. Putin is one of the richest men in Russia, if not the wealthiest. He's worth like $100 billion or more, right? He has money and properties all over the planet. And if Biden, I believe Biden didn't put any sanctions on Putin's private money around the world by freezing bank accounts and things like this, as a signal to Putin, I won't touch your money around the world if you don't touch mine in Ukraine when you take over. That's what I think that was about yesterday. What are your thoughts?
I still think it's got something to do with the Durham report. He wants to throw shade on his own investigations, and also to say that the price of oil has to do with the Russian invasion.
Yeah.
What he did on day one with the pipeline. Because he could turn this all around if he just went with, putting in place what Trump had done with energy independence.
Yeah.
This is all his own doing. On day one, when he shut down that pipeline and put the restrictions back in place.
No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Take care. Thanks for the call. I read today inflation is what 20% inflation now, and Biden came out and said inflation is going to go higher because we're doing the right thing with Russia yesterday. And I think what that caller just said is spot on. That a lot of this, there's many things in play here, but one of the things that it does, a major benefit of Biden, is that he has somebody other than himself to blame the outrageous inflationary prices. Yesterday, I was talking about this on my podcast last night. This was shocking to me. My wife and I do our grocery shopping on the Instacart online. We don't go to the store in person. And I hate going to the grocery store shopping. I despise it. I don't know why, but I hate it. But we do the Instacart. We do your shopping online. And I tell people about this a lot. A lot of times people say, oh, you're so lazy, you're so spoiled. You do the shopping online from the grocery store. They deliver the groceries to you. It actually saves us a lot of money because when you do the Instacart shopping, you don't do any impulse buying, right? You only buy what's on the list. You don't pick up anything else. It saves us a lot of money on our grocery bill doing the online shopping from Publix and Walmart. But my wife handles all that. I really don't because that's what a woman's role is in the house right now. I'm just kidding. She just handles it. But yesterday she was doing it, and she asked me some things. What do you want? And one of the things I told her is roast beef. And she said, okay. And then she says, are you sure you want roast beef? I said, yeah. Why? And she told me how much roast beef was selling for at Publix. And I couldn't believe it. Now, this price is the Publix generic brand of roast beef. This is not Boar's Head. This is the generic, cheapest roast beef. The Publix brand of roast beef. $14 a pound. $14 a pound. And it wasn't that long ago. Boar's Head was like $8 a pound. That's not Boar's Head. I don't even know what Boar's Head is. If Publix is $14 a pound, what is the Boar's Head going for? My goodness. Oh, wow. I know. Isn't that insane? $14 a pound, Publix brand roast beef. And everything in the store is through the roof. And Biden's not doing a damn thing about it. Prices, 20% inflation. Probably most of us, this is the highest inflationary period we've been in our adult lifetimes, right? I mean, and it's going higher and higher. There's nothing slowing it down, and it's very scary. And Biden and all of his minions on television yesterday made a big point. Kamala started this with that weird mask thing she was wearing over there, when she was in Europe. Blaming further inflationary prices on doing the right. We're going to do the right thing with Russia and Ukraine. We're going to stand, but when you do the right thing, there's a price to pay, and doing the right thing is going to cause prices to go up on everything. So I think what that caller said is right on the money, and he made a very good point that there's many things in play here, but one of them is blaming doing the right thing on these rising prices. And I got to tell you guys, food prices are getting so high now, people are making very uncomfortable sacrifices and choices when it comes to food these days. You know it. And that's Biden's America. Biden's bringing back hunger in this country when it shouldn't be that way. All right, let's go back to the phones. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joe from Sunrise.
Hey, Joe. What's up?
Yeah, the pants were called Skids. S-K-I-D-Z.
Oh, Zumbas were later. Oh, okay.
You were my age, so in high school you were looking at guys wearing skids.
Skids. Skids. S-K-I-D-S? Okay. I'll Google it. Oh, Z. Zids. Zids, like zit, but zids. All right, well, did you wear them? Skids.
They were in and out of popularity so quick I never got a chance to go to.
All right, I didn't wear those funny pants either. All right, take care. Thanks for the call. All right, good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Oh, hey, Richie. I bet Richie wore those pants. I bet.
No, I didn't wear. I almost thought I had to tell you this, so I missed most of it. But I just picked up on what you were saying. The people calling up. You just gave a signal to China. It's okay to do what you're going to do. because, I mean, these sanctions are useless. And by the way, the new Green Deal and all this green crap, they're making the West poorer. And it's obvious to you and I and everyone else. We are poorer today than we were last year.
Yes.
That means the dollar doesn't go far. And you think Putin cares about the Green New Deal? You think China cares about the Green New Deal? And green. They got all of Europe brainwashed with this crap. But green is making us broke.
Well, that's one of the purposes of it. One of the purposes of the Green New Deal is to help China become even stronger economically, because China, Russia, Iran, India, these big polluters don't abide by any of it.
They don't care about it. This is a fallacy.
That's right.
It's not true.
It's a way for these people that are sellouts to China and our government, all the people in Schweitzer's book, to reduce America's economic output, reduce our economy while you help China rise.
The big lie is to make America poorer again.
That's right.
I mean, that's the bottom line. But anyway, I want you to know that, because it's not going to get any better, and gas is going to go out of the roof. They're preparing us already. I mean, this is outrageous.
I mean, gas prices, I want you to think about this. Think about this. How many people make a living driving Uber and Lyft? How many people, how many people are making a living delivering DoorDash or Uber Eats? And,
UPS and FedEx and all that, you think it's going to stay the same? You think that fuel prices going up are going to be cheaper for the airline industry? We are getting ripped off here with this green crap. I'm sorry.
Well, there's a lot of things in play. And, when you have, and I don't say this because I'm a partisan. I don't like Democrats, okay? But this is beyond partisan politics. Joe Biden is the most corrupt man to ever be president of the United States. And everything he does is to get paid and increase his wealth, his personal wealth, and screw the rest of you. That's what it's about.
You talked about this a couple of years ago, that the earth heals itself. And the earth is a living thing. It changes all the time. And people, this is a phony religion that they got. Green, save the planet. This is such I just can't get over this anymore. People can't see it for what.
Well, when Bill Clinton was first president, they used to talk about global cooling. Remember El Nino and El Nino? Global cooling. There was a big blizzard in the early years of the Clinton first term. There was a big blizzard up north, and they were talking about global cooling.
Cows for flatulence. They blame everything on, blame earthquakes on forests, earthquakes, hurricanes. Give me a break. They're so ridiculous and so outrageous. You talk about a fantasy world. They're living in it. We're getting...
All right. Take care. Thanks for the call. All right. Richie the bus driver. Yeah, is there anyone out there, I'm serious about this, who's not filling their tank up completely because the gas prices are so high already? And this is just the beginning. Biden is going out of his way to tell us that this is just the beginning of these gas prices. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Rodney here in Georgia.
Rodney in Georgia. What's up, Rodney in Georgia?
Not a whole lot. I found out today that they defunded the police in Warm Springs, where Franklin D. Roosevelt was, and then Woodbury, Georgia.
They defunded the police?
There'll be no more police.
Well, what did they... They're still going to have police.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not... There will no longer be police in Warm Springs, Georgia?
Yep.
Well, what happens if there's a crime?
Exactly.
No, I'm serious.
It's going to be rough. My range is in Meriwether County, and
your range? What do you mean your range?
No, my range.
Your ranch? Oh, you're a rancher?
No. I live here on the ranch.
You live on a ranch?
Yeah. in Meriwether County, and I can imagine it's going to get bad.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, that Aubrey case up there, a lot of guys are going to be afraid to do any type of citizen police work because you might end up, convicted of a hate crime.
But I heard that they defunded them.
Well, when they say defund the police, I haven't heard of them doing away with the police department. They take some of their money away, there's no doubt about that, and that's not good. I love it how when it comes to the police, the Democrats are so fiscally responsible and conservative when it comes to the police. All they do is hand out free money to people and programs all day, all night for 100 years, but now all of a sudden they're fiscal conservatives when it comes to the police.
Yes, sir.
All right, Well, thank you.
And podcast.
Well, thank you. Thank you. All right. All right, yeah, this defund the police thing. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. It doesn't even make defund the police. I mean, come on. Well, listen, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. Much more to talk about. Some great calls today, by the way. Great calls, new callers, interesting people. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631.
You're on the radio. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Stacy from Deerfield Beach. This is in reference to Champagne Automotive. I went over there. They're wonderful. I have a Kia Optima Eco Hybrid. When I called, it needed service. I didn't want to bring it to the dealership because they would charge me through the roof. And basically, when I did call, they said bring it in the next day. He's amazing. He did everything. He didn't overcharge me. He went through my car, and I would recommend anybody to go to him. He's absolutely amazing.
Well, Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca, they do great work, and I want to thank you for calling. And I learned something about Champagne Automotive Repair from you in this call. I did not know that they actually did repairs on hybrid vehicles.
What had happened was when I brought it to the dealership, they were like, well, we want to do this, we want to do that. And when I heard about Champagne Automotive, I called when I got there, and I said, he goes, well, I already ordered the oil filter.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. And so I dropped it off. I don't have many people to take me back home. And so he ordered Uber for me.
Wow.
Yes.
That's service. Thank you for the call as well. And anyone else out there, Champagne Automotive Repair, their prices are great. They'll never do a repair on your vehicle that your vehicle doesn't need. Their number is 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101. And what's your name, caller?
My name is Stacy, and thank you very much, Champagne Automotive, and thank you very much, Brian and Steve.
For Champagne Automotive Repair in Boca, 561-245-8101. 561-245-8101.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to announce my new product, My Slippers. They took me over 2 years to develop because I didn't want just an ordinary slipper. My slippers are meant to be worn all day long, no matter what you're doing, whether you're inside or outside. My slippers come with an exclusive 3-tier cushioning system that you won't find in any other slipper. It combines 2 layers of foam, including my proprietary MyPillow foam and a patented impact gel made from U.S. soybeans. My 3-tier cushioning system is going to help relieve pressure points, provide that micro support you need for all-day comfort, and help prevent fatigue. Not only that, my slippers are made with high-quality leather and a premium indoor-outdoor sole that make them extremely durable. I personally guarantee they're going to be the most comfortable slippers you'll ever own.
And right now, save 40% off the MyPillow My Slippers when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for
All right, and an update on the MyPillow, My Slipper special. You heard Mike Lindell there, the great Mike Lindell, the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the MyPillow. A special flash sale going on right now on the MyPillow, My Slippers. I have these. They're wonderful slippers. I wear them all the time. When I go home, first thing I do is I put my MyPillow slippers on, and they're on my feet until I come to work the next morning. And right now, not 40% off, 50% off for a limited time. 50% off all styles, all colors of the MyPillow, My Slippers. 50% off, but you've got to use our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. 50% off the MyPillow, My Slippers with the promo code KANE. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. All right, now we've been talking about the American Freedom Convoy. I want to play a clip. Trudeau, who not only have they been doing mass arrest of the Freedom Truckers in Canada, one of the leaders, let me pull this up because I've been wondering about this week, and the story started breaking yesterday. I want to get her name right. Tamara Lynn, what's her name? I got to put my glasses on. Tamara Litch. She's the female leader of the Freedom Convoy in Canada. She's being held right now, no bail, and is facing 10 years imprisonment in Canada. 10 years imprisonment for being one of the organizers for a peaceful demonstration in Ottawa, the Freedom Convoy. 10 years. My goodness. 10 years for being one of the organizers at a peaceful demonstration. I mean, that's there you go. That's your Canada. That's your freedom. And yeah, I know. The early reports that they were arresting and releasing without bail were untrue. Shocker. 10 years. Do you know how long you get for murder in Canada? 20. In fact, because I watch a lot of ID and true crime. Do you guys watch ID and true crime? My wife and I are so into, we have the Discovery app, and we got it just for ID. We have seen pretty much every show on ID. We love that stuff. And when they do cases in Canada, it amazes me. No matter how brutal it is, they rape, they murder, they torture, 20 years. They have no death penalty. And 20 years, that's the heaviest sentence they hand out up there for people that rape, torture, and murder women. And I see it on ID all the time. In fact, my wife and I will see, well, let's see the sentence, 20 years, and sure enough. So they're giving the Freedom Convoy leaders, led a nonviolent protest, they're getting half the time that someone who kidnaps, rapes, tortures, and kills a woman gets. Sometimes they'll kill a whole family, they get 20 years. Getting half that time for organizing a peaceful protest? That's Canada. So, yeah. So we have an ally in this wag the dog, protect Joe Biden's corrupt business dealings in Ukraine war we're in. And one of our allies, Canada. Canada. Listen to this. This is Trudeau yesterday. Talking about Russia and Ukraine.
Canada and our allies will defend democracy. We are taking these actions today to stand against authoritarianism. The people of Ukraine, like all people, must be free to determine their own future. We will continue working with our international partners to safeguard Ukraine's territorial integrity and prevent further Russian aggression.
Okay, yeah, so Trudeau, as a democracy, we're supporting it and freedom, unless you're a trucker in Ottawa who takes part in a peaceful protest. You get 10 years in prison. My goodness, the defender of democracy. Now, we've been wondering about the American Freedom Convoy and what's going on there. There's a group of American truckers who are traveling from California to D.C. And what's happened? The Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin, who is as dumb as a box of rocks. Have you seen this guy? Oh, my goodness. How did this guy become a general? Yeah, I know. He's an idiot. Have you seen this guy? He's lost. He is lost. But anyway, the Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin, has approved... Oh, did you hear that train horn? Yes, that's the Trump train coming by. Hopefully it's not the Bright Line. The Bright Line... You guys see the Bright Line ran over somebody else recently? How many people have died who have been run over by the Bright Line? And the Bright Line goes by the radio station every morning. I see it out the window. And I've been wanting to ride the Bright Line, but I haven't because I'm afraid it'll run over someone and I'll get jammed up all day, stuck on the train. But I'll keep an eye out. The Bright Line will be coming soon, if it hasn't already. But anyway, Lloyd Austin, the Defense Secretary, has authorized 700 National Guard troops to protect D.C. from the American freedom truckers that are on their way. And I've read stories of states along the way requesting this. So here we have a very, very corrupt president of the United States, Joe Biden, the most corrupt man ever to be president of the United States. We have him telling us that borders are sovereign, unless it's the American southern border. Sovereign borders must do Washington, D.C. I mean, what the hell is going on here in this country? What is going on here? And, how can we be concerned at all about Ukraine when you see what this guy is doing? I mean, this guy, there's an invasion in Ukraine. I get it. But our president... The president has to sign off on it. Can the Defense Secretary call in the National Guard without presidential authorization like this? I don't think so. Here we have the President of the United States, the defender of democracy and sovereign borders in Ukraine, authorizing the Secretary of Defense to use U.S. soldiers to stop American truckers on their way to D.C. for a peaceful protest. If any of you have ever traveled as a tourist to Washington, D.C., there's always a protest going on, usually around the Capitol. And, and usually it's union people holding union signs. And the unions, of course, transport them there, pay for their food and lodging while they're there. It's like a little vacation trip to D.C. But there's always protesters protesting something in Washington. It's, if you've been there as a tourist and you haven't seen a protest, well, come back a couple hours later, there'll be one there. And there's large protests, there's small protests and demonstrations, and as long as it's peaceful, it's welcome, unless they're conservatives. And if you're a truck driver heading to Washington to take part in a peaceful demonstration, well, Biden and the Defense Secretary are sending the National Guard to stop you, the Army, soldiers. This is insanity, people. Insanity. I thought they stopped using soldiers for protest after Kent State. Seems a little dangerous, doesn't it? Those were National Guard troops at Kent State, weren't they? And look what happened there. All right, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's the number, toll free. Good morning, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Paula from New Jersey.
Paula in New Jersey. What's up, Paula?
The weather's beautiful here today.
Not as beautiful here. I'm looking out over the beach here, out of my window. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, last time we spoke, I was shoveling snow, so it's a big difference.
Hey, you're shoveling snow, Biden's shoveling something else that I can't say.
Yeah, you're hitting on my favorite subject today. Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start. First of all, I want to talk about the truck convoy.
Yeah. The truck convoy that Biden is sending the Army to stop?
Yes. Okay, I don't think it's the wisest move to be doing this, and I don't understand why we don't do something a little more effective. For example, what if everyone just doesn't go to work for a day instead of, driving to D.C. and risk another January 6th?
Well, okay. This is because you want a visual. You know, if I was talking yesterday. The U.S. trucker convoy made a mistake. They're not professional activists like these Democrats. They announced what they were doing in advance, so that's what's happening. I would just change the location. I would say we are going to go to Philadelphia instead or something, you know, which was the capital at one time, and we're going to do this in Philadelphia, which is a short drive from D.C., you know, something like that. That's what I would do.
Definitely a disadvantage when you announce it, and because then, you know, the other side can prepare and do all kinds of things. Don't you think if everyone stayed home for a day as a means of protesting,
No, because first off, it's not long enough, and there's no visual to that. Okay. You need, you know, having the visual of hundreds of truckers parked somewhere that's a very powerful symbol. No, you want a visual. Staying home one day and watching Netflix and chilling ain't gonna do it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, but you know what happened with January 6th? Are you there?
I am.
Okay, good. You know that wasn't an advantage to our side. What happened?
Oh, January 6th was devastating. I mean, January 6th, we're, for the rest of our lives, they're going to hold that over our head. And you know, Madison Cawthorn, I was talking about this the other day. I saw him on Right Side Broadcasting on the weekend. He was at an event in Texas with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Madison Cawthorn, he said, when I got to Congress, and I'm working around all these people you see on TV like Nancy Pelosi, he said, my biggest takeaway from, this is Madison Cawthorn, my biggest takeaway from that is these people don't stop. They work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to push their agenda, and they're trying to get him off the ballot for his re-election, saying that he was part of the January 6th Capitol breach. You know, we all, as conservatives, we always had the moral high ground because there was never a violent event connected to us, you know, and they're going to use, regardless of what really happened on January 6th, the liberals write the history and they control the media, and it's going to be shown as something that is always going to be held over our heads. Right. You know, there's one incident they can connect to conservatives. They have thousands of incidents, including the Civil War, of violent disobedience, civil disobedience, and going on with the Democrats. And one thing happens they can connect with us, and it's the end times.
Right, and that's why I think we should be smart about it, because, you know, like this trucker thing that's going to take place, we just saw what happened in Canada, you know.
Well, yeah, you know, I would, listen, I got to run for a break. I'm a little late, so I'll give you the last word. I'm sorry to cut you short, but I'm 5 minutes late for the break. I should have taken your call after the break. My apologies.
I just want to say that I don't see an advantage to what happened with the truckers in Canada, and I think the same thing is going on.
All right. Thanks for the call from New Jersey. All right, take care. I should have taken that break, and I didn't. I wasn't looking at the clock, and I apologize for cutting her short. We'll take our break and be right back after this.
Are messy adhesives ruining the taste of your food? Is it painful for you to eat? Does the constant denture movement affect your speech? Are you always worried that your dentures will fall out while you're talking or laughing? Do you have sore spots? You are not alone. These are common problems that can be solved simply with dental implants. This is Steve Kane, and I want to introduce you to Brighton Dental Care, where the Kane family goes for all our dental needs. Brighton Dental Care doesn't want cost to stop you from being able to eat the foods you love again and live in comfort. That's why, for Steve Kane listeners, they're offering implants, get this, for just $3,500. That includes 2 implants plus a lower denture. Now, if you go to a dentist in Boca or in Aventura, they're going to charge you $6,000 for the exact same implants and denture. That's right, $6,000, but at Brighton Dental Care, just $3,500, and that includes the 2 implants plus your lower denture. Laugh and live with confidence. Call Brighton Dental Dental Care at 954-922-4633, 954-922-4633, and online at BrightonDentalCare.com. Be sure to ask about special discounts for our military veterans.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, we are back. All right, well, let's take a call or two, then I'll discuss what New Jersey said. Good morning, you're on the air. John in Okeechobee. How you been, John?
Yeah, good God. Sorry, my phone is too loud. I think that truck convoy in Canada has been one of the most significant things going on in my lifetime. I've been watching on news, I watch on YouTube, I watch people put up their own personal videos of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, no.
Oh, yeah.
For Ottawa itself, it's good. I mean, it's the masses, the people, the ordinary people, been ignored by the government for a long time.
No, you're right. I mean, you know, and this has been going on. It started in 2008, 2009 when the Obamacare, but for the last 10 to 12 years, for the first time ever, conservatives have become activists, and the liberals and the party establishment just can't handle this.
Normal people.
No, that's right, normal people. You're exactly right.
Conservatives.
Yeah, normal people.
People that are building the country, they're creating things, and not the intellectual elite.
And bums that live off the government. You're correct, yes.
Yeah, well, that's what the top of the pyramid looks like, too.
Mm-hmm.
But January 6th was a recent incident.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's true, John.
But it was instigators among them.
No, we know, that is true. All right, hey, listen, John, take care. Thanks for the call. Good to hear from you, by the way. I haven't heard from you in a while. You know, if you notice, okay, this story about Lloyd Austin, the defense secretary, authorizing 700 National Guard troops, which is, to me, that's the Army. I mean, you know, come on. But authorizing 700 National Guard troops to be prepared for the American Freedom Convoy coming to Washington. This is an expansion of January 6th. See, January 6th, what they did with, and this is something we will be dealing with for many years to come. We will be dealing with this forever. What they're doing with this, okay, what they're doing with January 6th, you see it with the truckers, anyone who is conservative and disagrees with the establishment, you are a domestic enemy. You are a domestic terrorist. And that's what they're doing. And they're they're sending out soldiers to greet the American Freedom Convoy because they're domestic enemies. Just like the Capitol breachers. That's what they're doing now. And it started on January 6th. But since January 6th, we saw it in Canada over the weekend. But in both the United States and in Canada, everyone who opposes the political establishment, in particular the left, you're a domestic enemy. And now they're sending the army out of you after you to do a preemptive strike. No, the truckers should bypass Washington, go to Philadelphia or another major place, and meet there. That's what they should do. It's not even smart if you're a conservative or MAGA to take your kid on their 5th grade trip to D.C. now. It really isn't. With the tone of things that we have going on. All right, now I got a full board of calls. Everyone hold on. One of these lines is Janet Cimarelli from AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace. I just don't know which one it is. So I'm going to do it live on the air. Good morning. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Brian. Lewis from Plantation. I haven't called in a while.
Lewis from Plantation, yes. You get now. I can screen through the calls and find out which one of these lines is Janet Cimarelli while you talk.
There you go, my friend.
Steve Kane
listen,
Show.
Real quick,
Steve Kane
my
Show.
understanding they're sending troops over
Steve
to
Kane
the
Show.
borders.
Hey, Janet, hold on.
Show. And we're also sending troops to Ukraine. Is that correct?
Near Ukraine, but I do believe we've got to have troops in Ukraine to operate the equipment we're sending them.
Yeah, And then I think I caught you. You were making a comment regarding the southern border, and I think, like, what the hell is happening down there? Are we not sending troops there? Is that okay? Or have we forgotten this?
Yeah. Sovereign borders only matter in Ukraine, not in the United States. Borders in the United States are racism, Yankee imperialism, and racist.
Craig, I would love one of your liberal listeners to go ahead and try to defend this in any way. I would just love to chuckle at that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Hey, listen. Thanks for the call. And you did give me time to screen the calls to find. We don't screen calls on this show. I take all the calls live on the air, and sometimes it makes it a little rough. But I knew one of our callers on hold was Janet Cimarelli from AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace with this morning's health report. So on the line, licensed nutrition counselor Janet Cimarelli from AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace in Pompano. Janet, good morning.
Good morning, Brian. And so I've got some information today. You want your listeners to have their brains working well. You want your listeners to have
Wesley, $10 super chat. Thank you. Everyone thank Wesley. We use all means at our disposal to peacefully and constitutionally oppose and take down tyrannical and dictatorial governments. Sometimes big sacrifices are required for this.
one category of nutrition support that addresses all four of those issues. So when you take ubiquinol, a version of coenzyme Q10, for every contraction of your heart, the volume of blood going through the chambers of your heart is increased with expense of less energy. If you want your immune system to be supported, what ubiquinol CoQ10 brings is oxygenation. And when you have high blood and tissue oxygenation, you are more defended against bacteria, viruses, any pathogenic microorganism that can make you sick. Okay, energy. Coenzyme Q10 is in every cell of your body, and when you have sufficient CoQ10 ubiquinol, the mitochondria of your cells, the energy-producing aspect of your cells, works much, much better. Okay, and I mentioned oxygenation.
Steve Kane Show.
That's what happens with CoQ10 and ubiquinol or ubiquinol. Oxygenation to your brain. Your brain works on glucose and oxygen, and when you've got that supported oxygen level from CoQ10 or ubiquinol, your brain works better. So you see stresses coming at you, but your brain is so sharp, it is working right around them.
That is correct. And, AJ's Natural Wellness Shop at the Festival Marketplace, Janet Cimarelli is a licensed nutrition counselor who is available for no-charge consultations at the store. Now, you can call it. Now, she gets booked up. Although it's free, she does get booked up, and they ask you to make an appointment. So you can call ahead for an appointment, or if you happen to be at AJ's or the festival, you can make an appointment in person. But if you want to call ahead to make an appointment for a no-charge consultation with licensed nutrition counselor Janet Cimarelli at AJ's, here's the number, 954-317-1851. 954-317-1851. And, of course, AJ's Natural Wellness Shop in the Festival Marketplace, very easy to find. The festival is immediately east of the Turnpike on the south side of Sample Road. And when you go into the festival, right before the food court, look west. When you see the information booth, AJ's is right in front of the information booth. Very easy to find. All right, Janet Cimarelli, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, you two, take care. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. Steve Kane will be joining us in the next hour. If you're on hold, stand by. Quick break and back with your calls.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to The Steve Kane Show.
Dr. Matez here from the Biostation West Delray. Many of you are familiar with the famous erection injection, an extremely effective treatment for erectile dysfunction made popular right here on the Steve Kane Show. I'm here to tell you that the erection injection is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the extensive array of treatment options now available at the Biostation West Delray. Our custom compounded products yield combinations and dosages that increase the efficacy of Viagra and Cialis greatly. We also offer treatments that can correct the problem at its source, such as PRP and sound wave pulse therapies that restore your natural function. State-of-the-art testing and the most current treatment options all available in one place, the Biostation West Delray. If you want to correct your erectile problems once and for all, call us at 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show. To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-COCAINE-1. That's 1-888-COCAINE-1. And now,
Yes. Third hour has begun. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, on the radio since 1977. Steve will be joining us after the next break. Steve was off yesterday. He'll be back today after our next break. And we're going to go back to the phones right now. 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. PJ. Hey, PJ, what's up?
Hello. Yeah, hi. This is PJ.
Yes.
Yeah, hey, you know what? From what I understand, the American Freedom Convoy isn't actually going to go into D.C. itself. I believe the plan is, and I actually thought of this before they announced it, because I used to live up there. What they're going to do is they're going to just circle the Beltway. It's like a cobra snake.
Yeah.
Beltway. They're not actually going to even go into D.C. itself. The Beltway is well outside of D.C.
Yeah. Two problems with that. One, they told them what they were planning before they did it. Big mistake. And two, who controls the interstate highway system? I-95 is the road that goes around D.C. Who controls I-95 when they want to? The federal government. The federal government.
It's going to cause a jam up.
I don't think they're going to make it. I think they're going to. Well, I have been reading online that governors along the route to D.C. have been requesting National Guard help, and other officials have. They're going to send out their. This is going to be like Chris Christopherson in Convoy. They're going to send out the local state police. They're going to send out the National Guard, and they're going to do everything else to break it up. They are not going to make it to the Beltway. Not going to make it. It's not going to be allowed.
We'll see what happens. By the way, it's funny. I watched, because of what's going on, for the first time, I don't know how I missed it, I actually watched Convoy for the first time a couple of weeks ago.
You know, I was trying to convoy when I was growing up with Chris Christopherson was a huge thing, and I was looking for it on YouTube, and I found it, and I got all excited. This was over the weekend, and I called my wife, and I was like, let's watch Convoy. It's for free on YouTube. We started watching it, and it was in Spanish. It wasn't in English, but I don't...
I don't know if you have Amazon, but I believe it's on Amazon.
Is it? I will look. Convoy. Yeah, maybe they've taken it down lately.
Just go onto your Alexa and just say, Alexa, play Convoy.
What was their who else is in Convoy? It's
Ernest Borgnine.
Ernest Borgnine's the villain. Do you remember what Chris Christopherson's CB handle is? I know.
Something Duck.
How could you not? Rubber Duck. That's right, Rubber Duck. That's right, Rubber Duck. Yep, that's right, Rubber Duck. But what was their grievance? Why did they put together a convoy?
No, because it started out because Ernest Borgnine character was a corrupt cop. Charging them exorbitant fines, and then he was going to take a guy to jail. As you know, it was so you have to watch it.
Well, Convoy sounds like some of that predictive programming I hear lunatics talk about. You know, so Ernest Borgnine's playing Justin Trudeau.
Justin Trudeau. Did you hear? I got the Toronto Star in front of me on a screen. You know what's going on? The freezing all those bank accounts backfired because what happened is everybody, even people that had nothing to do with the protests, they started thinking, hey, my bank account's at risk. So there's starting to be a run on a Canadian bank. So here's the headline now. Just came in. RCMP, that's the Mounties, working to unfreeze protesters' bank accounts, Ottawa says. And it says here, first paragraph, the federal government says the RCMP are working with financial institutions to unfreeze bank accounts locked by emergency orders that target people who organized, participated in, or donated.
Wow.
Called Freedom Convoy. That means everybody. In other words, if you just freeze even a small group of people, you know what? For political reasons, that means everybody. And then also George Peterson, he has a big video out now. He said somebody in the Canadian police told him you better withdraw your money from the bank up in Canada. So that got
yeah.
I think they panicked. I think they made a big boomerang.
Yeah, but they're about to do something similar here, and to call out the National Guard in advance against the U.S. trucker convoy. I've never heard of such a thing, and I was talking in the last hour. The National Guard calls a disaster at Kent State against the Vietnam protesters. It doesn't seem like a smart move, and those were just a bunch of snowflake college students. You know, these are truck drivers. National Guard versus truck drivers seems like a dangerous mix. It doesn't sound good.
One fringy benefit is that they're probably going to call out the Mutant Ninja Capitol Police to walk all around D.C. Like they did last August.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, no truckers are going to show up in D.C. itself, and you're going to have those Mutant Ninja Capitol Police.
Yeah.
I love how they were all, and in the heat and everything in August, they were all decked out in all their combat gear.
Yeah, and they arrested one person who was an undercover federal agent, so there you go. I mean, you can't make this up.
Yeah. It is too funny, but by the way, speaking of Capitol Police, you know, the Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats, they want the Capitol Police, because they're opening offices around the country. They want them to be like the RCMP in Canada. They want them to be our federal.
The Capitol Police have offices outside of the Capitol?
Yeah, they're going to check it out. They're trying to open up offices in different cities around the country.
Well, that's interesting. If they, that's insane. So. Oh, this is very interesting. So if they open up branch offices, field offices, would they still answer to the Speaker of the House? Who would be the oversight of that?
I guess the thing is they'll be in effect like the National Police. Look it up. I'm sure Richie knows about this.
You know, that's the first time I've heard that. So I am definitely going to look it up. I know, I believe you. You know, this is PJ here is a writer with Newsbusters, PJ Gladnick. So you know, when he says something, it's very credible. But so Nancy Pelosi is setting up a congressional national police force, which I don't even know if a national police force is legal.
Yeah, here I'm looking up. It went in here, Brett. It says here, Capitol Police to open field offices, and I'm looking at CBS News from last summer. Capitol Police open field offices in California and Florida to help investigate threats against lawmakers.
Oh my goodness, that is really frightening.
Just Google Capitol Police branch offices.
Oh, I'll look that up. That's January 6th was a very bad turning point for us. Really, really, truly was. It really was. All right, hey PJ, thanks for the call. Okay. All right, great information from PJ. You know, I want to play a clip for you guys. This is from a lady liberal who's a member of the Canadian Parliament. Okay, and I bring this up today because of the American Freedom Convoy. The Department of Defense is sending out the National Guard to stop the truckers from coming to D.C. And when I was a kid, we were talking about the Chris Christopherson movie with Ernest Borgnine, Convoy, and there was a TV show that was an offshoot of that called Moving On, and truck drivers were cool. And when I was a kid, I don't know if kids still do this, but when I was a kid in the 70s and we passed a semi, we would always do this thing, the motion with our arm to try to get the truck driver to honk the horn, honk, honk, any of you guys ever do that? And they do it. They would do it. It was really cool. Well, that has, according to this liberal member of parliament in Canada, the honking of the horn, honk, honk, has a different meaning. And this was on the floor of parliament in Canada this week. Listen to this. Wait, I've got to put, this is on my iPad. I got to put it up to the microphone. Hold on. I'm losing everything here. Here, let's go. Okay, mic 3. Oh my goodness. After that huge build-up, oh, I pulled it. There we go. Here we go. Oh my good. Live radio, people. This is live in case you haven't noticed. Here we go. Here it is. It'll still be good.
How many guns need to be seized? How much vitriol do we have to see of honk honk, which is an acronym for Hail Hitler?
Oh, see that? Isn't that? So the semi-truck horn, honk honk, really means Heil Hitler. That's right. And can you believe she said that? And when you watch the video, you can look it up online and watch her say the statement. She believes that. And whether it's using January 6th in America or the truckers up in Canada, all of their opposition politically are Nazis, white supremacists, and domestic terrorists and domestic enemies. That's what they have. The left in the United States and in Canada have criminalized their political opposition. Honk honk means Heil Hitler, she says. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Steve. I'm originally from Philadelphia.
Well, where are you now?
I am in North Wales, which is in Montgomery County, which is just north of Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. What's on your mind?
I have called before, and it's been a while. I may be mistaken, but I think Interstate 95 actually goes from Maine to Florida. And the beltway around Washington is 64 miles long, and it's 495.
Well, okay. Now I stand corrected. But when I have driven there, because I've driven up there, I've driven to Philadelphia, I've driven to D.C., done this multiple times. I take I-95 and I don't change roads. I think, doesn't 95 turn into the Beltway?
It's been a long time since I've been down there, but I remember there were signs to get onto 495.
Oh, maybe.
In fact,
I stand corrected. But I don't think worried about directions is the problem here. I think having the Secretary of Defense sending, they call it the National Guard, but sending trained soldiers of the U.S. Army to stop truckers heading towards Washington for a peaceful protest is more concerning than directions right now.
Oh, definitely. I can see the problem. You also, he had a caller earlier today, and you pointed out yesterday that it was a bad idea that they announced this because the left knows what we're going to do. But how else are you going to get the word out to other truckers unless you get the word out?
Well, you don't. Okay, you tell your trucker. Don't they still use CBs? Truck and his girlfriend. Who was the other guy and his wife that were spying on Trump? He was Asian. She's not. Married couple. They worked in the Justice Department, and they were part of this operation against Trump. I can't remember their name. Not Peter Strzok and his girlfriend, the other couple. Somebody will remember. But she was actually communicating using shortwave radio.
Really?
Yeah. But the truckers could go old school. They can use the CBs if they still use the CBs, and of course they go to truck stops and they see each other at the weigh stations. So that's how you get the word out. Word of mouth. You don't go on national TV. Have you ever seen Black Lives Matter or any other group go on a television interview and say we're going to go to Ferguson and we're going to do all this stuff? They just show up, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
You are correct.
I mean, there's isolated incidents like the Million Man March and things. Those are different. Those aren't really protests. Or were their names? Bruce and Nellie Orr. Yeah, Nellie Orr was communicating by shortwave radio, which is what spies used to do. And there was a lot of reporting on this all the time, that the government no longer monitors that for spy work, that spies use they use the internet and things like that to communicate with now. So I think organizing the truckers on the CB is much better than going on Paul Ryan's Fox News channel and telling them what they plan to do.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, I like that. I like that part of it. Listen, I got to run, so I'm going to give you the final word.
I happen to be in Florida. I arrived in Florida the day of the building collapse in Bar Harbor.
Not Pearl Harbor, Bal Harbor.
Bal Harbor 2 days later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry I missed you. I would have liked to run into you, but...
yeah, okay, you know. Oh. Well, next time I come down to Bal Harbor to view a building collapse, I'll announce it first so you can meet me there at the rubble.
Oh, yeah, I doubt that I'm going to fly down there just for that. I like it.
You wouldn't fly down here just to meet me? Come on. What if Steve Kane comes with me and I bring my Trumpy bear? Would that get... All right, hey, listen, thanks for the call. All right, take care. Let's take our break. Steve will be joining us after the break. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977. Back after this.
You've heard Steve Kane talk about the great work and the incredible prices at Dr. Gupta's Brighton Dental. Richie the bus driver called Steve Kane on the air and told him about his experience at Brighton Dental.
Good morning. I have to talk about Brighton Dental because your sponsor is a miracle worker. I broke my tooth. I fractured it and it went backwards in my mouth. Oh my front top tooth. I put it back into the socket. It felt like it was falling out. I had pain. I couldn't even eat spaghetti. And I was going to a wedding in New York 2 days later. And I said, what am I going to do? You know? The dentist here wanted to charge me $120 just to look at it and to tell me he couldn't do anything. I went to Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. I traveled 139 miles. I would do it again in a heartbeat, each way. Okay? The man sat and worked on my tooth for 2 hours, put a pin in it, put it back in place. I could eat anything I want. He said it was temporary. He did such a great job. It feels like permanent. I have no pain. I can eat anything I want now. And the fact of the matter, this is what really was unbelievable. I was getting on the bus to go to the reception, okay, in New York City. He knew I was in New York. The phone rings. Who do you think's on the line?
Dr. Gupta.
Right. He wants to see if everything is going okay and if I'm in any pain. The guy is unbelievably wonderful. I mean, thank you so much. I wouldn't have been able to eat. I wouldn't have been able to go. I would have looked like a pumpkin.
Everybody needs a great dentist, and of course, for you Steve Kane listeners, you have one, Dr. Gupta, and he's over there at Brighton Dental. He takes really good care of you. He's very conscientious. He's, dentistry is an art when you stop and you think about it. And Dr. Gupta certainly is an artist, and we're so pleased to have him with us.
Yeah, I just wanted them to know if you need a dentist, and the guy is so good at what he does, he's so gentle.
Steve Kane Show.
I mean, I don't like dentists. This guy is
Hey, one.
just top shelf. And I'm going down to him to get it permanently put in. But right now, I don't have any pain. I can eat anything I want. Incredible.
Take Richie the bus driver's advice and go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. Call 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, we are back 22 minutes after the hour. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve.
Good morning to one and all.
Yes, yes. Oh, man, I'm telling you, what a crazy day that's going on right now.
I feel it's going to be a crazy weekend, too.
Well, I wanted, if you're on hold, stand by, because I wanted, for people that are just tuning in, remember Morning Drive, people in, people out, people, I want to recap a little bit of what I did in the beginning of the program. And, I was talking earlier, Tucker Carlson should be nominated and win an Emmy Award for his broadcast last night, which was just spectacular with his analysis on what's going on with Biden and Ukraine. I was very impressed by it, and he went against the Fox News standard line of this fake wag the dog war that we're going in. And I have 3 clips from it that I played in the first hour of the program, but I'd like to play them again. I pulled these clips up, and this was, of course, after Biden's. And this is clip 1 of Tucker Carlson's opening monologue last night. He makes brilliant points, spot on everything that he says.
Since the day that Donald Trump became president, Democrats in Washington have told you have a patriotic duty to hate Vladimir Putin. It's not a suggestion, it's a mandate. Anything less than hatred for Putin is treason.
Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it, Steve?
Wait, no, not to me. Not to me. Let me ask you this. See, now I want to tell the audience, for those who are not familiar with the cast here, Brian has a PhD in history.
Yes, right. Yes.
I'm at a disadvantage. But do you see any similarities between the personality and psyche
I was going to say Putin and Hitler.
Vladimir Putin and Adolf Hitler?
No.
You don't?
No.
I do, and I'll tell you what I see. Now,
I knew it.
Again, I bow to your
yeah.
But how can I say this? Hitler was a psycho.
Yes.
We agree on that?
Oh, yeah. I'm assuming.
Okay. You don't see a similar...
No, in fact, not at all. In fact, what I see in Putin is not a similarity between... I don't see a similarity at all between Putin and Hitler. Putin's more like a Abraham Lincoln-like figure. Yeah, Union of Socialist republics. And there were different republics that made up the Soviet Union, Russia, Georgia, Siberia, Kazakhstan, a few others, and one of them was the Ukraine. And Putin's position is very similar to that of President Lincoln, that a republic can't... but that republics can't leave the Union, and that Ukraine is part of Russia. It's like a state leaving the United States.
Vladimir Putin confused with Abraham Lincoln.
I'm not saying they're the same, but there's more similarities between their position here than Hitler.
See, I think where is Putin going to stop? There's a lot of speculation on that today. If you tune in to the news programming, which again will be another day.
I don't know.
In front of the television.
I don't know. New York? I don't know. Where do you think he's going to stop?
He will stop when there is somebody there to stop him.
Oh.
And until there is somebody there to stop him, he will continue to... This is my view of him. It's not exactly Abraham Lincoln, but I don't see Putin as... I gotta hear from... I know there's little time left, but in fact, maybe we'll pick up on this tomorrow when we go. But yeah, I mean, to make comparisons between Abraham Lincoln and Vladimir Putin...
Yeah.
I think Tucker is grandstanding, as he likes to do.
he obviously has permission to color outside the lines over there at Fox, and they let him do it, and he...
Well, he didn't make the Lincoln comparison. I'm making the Lincoln comparison. But can I play the rest of Tucker Carlson? Because I think he made good points. You don't want to hear? Okay, this is just, we've only just begun here. And by the way, we have 33 minutes left in the program, so if you want to call in on this or anything that I brought up so far this morning, you are welcome. Our number,
we will carry this over tomorrow.
Well, yeah, this is going to be going on for weeks. Our number is toll free 1-888-GO-CANE 1-888-465-2631. So let me just rewind this. This is clip 1 of Tucker. We'll get through the whole. I've got 3 of these. Here's the first one. It's about a minute long.
The day that Donald Trump became president, Democrats in Washington have told you have a patriotic duty to hate Vladimir Putin. It's not a suggestion, it's a mandate. Anything less than hatred for Putin is treason. Many Americans have obeyed this directive. They now dutifully hate Vladimir Putin. Maybe you're one of them. Hating Putin has become the central purpose of America's foreign policy. It's the main thing that we talk about. Entire cable channels are now devoted to it. Very soon, that hatred of Vladimir Putin could bring the United States into a conflict in Eastern Europe.
All right, stop.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. I think Tucker does not speak for me when he says he hated Vladimir Putin. No one taught me to hate Vladimir Putin. I just sat in front of the television for a week watching him conduct his, what he would probably consider his foreign policy. And his foreign policy is take no prisoners and
yeah. So you're on. Okay, so you're with Joe Biden.
No, I'm not with Joe.
And Blinken.
You were with Abraham Lincoln, I know.
I am.
Right? Oh, you interrupted me.
I did not. No, I didn't. We got a bit of a delay this morning, Steve. That's all. There's a bit of a delay, I'm hearing. That's okay. Start over. Okay. So, yeah. Well, what Tucker is saying is that you and millions of others have been brainwashed by cable news.
I didn't have... in fact, you want to know the truth? I feel differently about... I almost said Abraham Lincoln. I feel differently about Putin today than when this started a couple of days ago, because it was watching his plans to expand that made me aware this guy is not going to stop until somebody stops him. I mean, not unlike, but very much like Adolf Hitler, you know? And
yeah,
trouble when he hit Russia.
Yeah.
But I hope they don't let Putin get that far.
So you're with the Biden plan in Ukraine and Russia.
No, I'm not with anything with Biden. Biden's a fake and a...
Okay.
He's doing the same crap that he's always been doing.
You want to hear what else Tucker said?
Go ahead.
It's worth asking yourself, since it is getting pretty serious. What is this really about? Why do I hate Putin so much? Has Putin ever called me a racist? Has he threatened to get me fired for disagreeing with him? Has he shipped every middle-class job in my town to Russia? Did he manufacture a worldwide pandemic that wrecked my business and kept me indoors for 2 years? Is he teaching my children to embrace racial discrimination?
All right, stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a different perspective here. Because I do have a dog in the fight.
Steve Kane Show.
A son who is a commander
Hold
of
on.
the tank corps. All right. I don't know. We can't talk about where
Yeah.
he's stationed. But I do know that when Putin reaches Poland, okay, that's when American tank advisors, and they are advisors will be coming up. Again, they're trying to keep Americans out of the war, but that's when he stands a chance of getting involved. He would be one of those advisors. And so it's very personal to me. And I see this guy, and no one's even thinking about Poland yet, but I'm thinking about Poland because that's where it gets personal with me.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is not going to stop where he is now. He will keep going until he hits Poland, and we get involved, and then who knows what kind of hell's going to break loose.
Well, I must say you were
Abraham Lincoln.
well. You're not alone, Steve, because Colonel Vindman agrees with you, and had some words. Yeah, no, it's true. Colonel Vindman agrees with you, and this is what and this is what Colonel Vindman said about those like Tucker Carlson who believe we shouldn't go to war with Russia.
These folks, these right-wing pundits and the GOP that supports him really frankly have blood on their hands because they're encouraging and enticing this kind
Why
of
are we playing?
opportunism.
Why are we? Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
You felt it was a good move on the chessboard, this interchange to do this. Why are we quoting Vindman? Vindman's a political hack.
Well, I want to show who you're in league with.
Does he support your argument?
No, he supports yours. Vindman supports your position. Vindman supports your position and says that Tucker Carlson and people like me have blood on our hands because we don't want to defend Ukraine.
Well, today it's Ukraine.
No. It's what? Oh, please. He's not going into Poland.
You don't think so?
No. Poland's part of NATO, isn't it?
If he doesn't, well, that's the thing.
If he goes into Poland, an attack on one is an attack on all. He would have a world war on his hands. Nah, that's not going to go into Poland.
You don't think that's possible?
No, not at all. Not at all possible.
I hope you believe me. I'm rooting for you.
All right. You know, and peace in our time.
If you agree with Vindman, I'm rooting for you.
No, you agree with Vindman. You agree with Vindman. You and Vindman are on the same side. Listen, if you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. Come back with your calls. Steve with us as well. Of course, we'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Brian Craig here. Conservative Doug called me up live on the air to tell me about his experience at Friendly Tire.
Steve Kane Show.
In the back of my Infinity. I called
Hey.
them up. I always check prices first. Half the price of everybody else.
Half the price? Half the price at Friendly Tire. Wow.
Half the price. And not only that, his tires, which normally the tires I was looking at had any mileage guarantee. His is 60,000 mile warranty. So they're not only half the price, they're twice as good.
So you're a repeat customer over there at Friendly Tire. You bought new tires, right? So you bought new tires, because they also sell used tires, starting at just $30 for most sizes. But you bought new tires, and they were half the price at Friendly Tire than at the other tire shops around town. That is phenomenal, and came with a 60,000 mile warranty on the tires. That's great. And of course, Friendly Tire, they never charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, or dispose of your old tires. The price that they give you are out the door and on the road. And
Everybody should go there. I don't know how anybody can buy tires anyplace else. This guy is the best prices.
That's right. That's right. Listen, give Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire a call. His number, 954-977-9445. He'll give you a quote right over the phone, 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net, or you can just stop right in. The address is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 5415 Northwest 15th Street in Margate, and that's just a little north of Coconut Creek Parkway on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Well, Conservative Doug, thanks so much, and I'm glad you got such a great deal on your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on Just search for WWNN.
All right, and Wings Plus in Coral Springs, the Sample Road location. Oh man, what? You were just at Wings Plus the other day. What did you order?
I'm hung up on there. They have the world's best hamburgers.
Oh yeah.
And they have a half pounder. It's a double with that authentic cheddar cheese, and it's just delicious. It's like the old-fashioned hamburgers you always remember. By the way, are increasingly hard to find nowadays. There's no question.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
is great when it comes to wings.
Well, I'll tell you when you. Yeah.
It is where the politically elite meet, so you find a lot of the like-minded.
No doubt. And when it comes to the hamburgers at Wings Plus, which are out of this world, you know, a great side dish to that is a bowl of the homemade Wings Plus chili. Yeah.
All meat, not a lot of beans, which is how I like it.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, everything at Wings Plus is homemade right there on the spot, and that includes all of the sauces for the wings. And Steve's partial to the hamburgers. I have two favorites at Wings Plus. Everything's spectacular. Nothing comes out of a can. Homemade clam chowder as well. You were telling me about the homemade lobster bisque. But yeah, my two favorites over there though are the wings. You know, Wings Plus. I'm a wings guy. That's how I first discovered Wings Plus, and they've been with us here on the Steve Kane Show for about 15 years now as an advertiser. And I was eating at Wings Plus.
The first wings you had were mine, which you ate.
Yeah. No. Well, I was. Yeah.
Let me just try
Yeah.
one of those.
Yeah. That's right, and everything is homemade right there, including the wing sauces. And my favorite two dishes, though, it's hard to pick a favorite, but yeah, I'm going to tell you what my favorites are. The wings, the lemon pepper and the medium hot wings. Those are equal. That counts as one favorite because the wings are spectacular. And the other is the overstuffed boar's head roast beef sandwiches. If you haven't had that over there yet, Steve, you should give that a go because it's just delicious. So Wings Plus in Coral Springs, located about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road. And when you stop in, tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. All right, we have a full board of calls, and you would probably, these are screenless. I don't know who they are, except Juan called in early. I know Juan's on hold. The other calls, I have no idea who they are. And you will find out what they think, but I think they would fit your definition of Putin lovers, like myself and Tucker Carlson, who thinks that Ukraine should be taking care of its own business. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. It's Joseph in Margate.
Joseph in Margate. Hey, Joseph.
How you doing? How you doing, Dave? Well, I totally agree with you. Biden is a fake and a phony. It's unfortunate, almost as big a phony as Trudeau back in Canada.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was listening to that clip. Yeah, I was listening to that clip Brian played of the member of Parliament in Canada.
Oh, that the honk honk means Heil Hitler.
Yeah. So she's essentially calling the truckers Nazis.
And anyone who honks a horn. Yes, honk honk. That means that would that go for Clarabelle the clown from the Howdy Doody show?
Yeah, sure.
Another Nazi. I was in the peanut gallery once. I was in the audience of the Howdy Doody show once. First time I came, they filmed it at Jackie Gleason Theater in Miami Beach. No, that was at that NAMBLA event that we went at. Yeah.
And they're trying to deflect attention off of their own screw up of our situation back home and try to convince Canadians, and there's a large portion of the population up there that buys into this crap that the Liberals put out there. Yeah, they're trying to deflect
Well, the Liberals in both Canada and the United States have decided since January 6th that their political opponents are Nazis, white supremacists, and domestic terrorists. And that's why Biden is sending the National Guard after the American truckers before they even get to D.C.
Yes, and they're trying to paint them in that vein, which is you know.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? If this woman thinks the honking of a horn is code for Heil Hitler, I mean, she's got a lot of problems. That's insane. I saw the video of her saying it, or I pulled the audio off of. She believes that in her heart. I mean, she's really a twisted woman.
Well, these are a bunch. Don't forget, they're a bunch of con artists. That's the way they get ahead, by lying and misleading the population. And when it comes to Tamara Lich, I heard that you were saying that she's denied bail, and I read up on that, and she's denied bail because there's a great chance that she might re-offend.
Yeah, have another peaceful protest somewhere. Yeah. Hey, listen, appreciate the call, and welcome to Florida from Canada. All right, take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning, caller. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, once.
Hello, Brian?
Yes.
Talking about Vladimir Putin and also about Ukraine.
Yes.
First of all, I think, listening to Steve, I think I understand what Steve is saying, is that because you have a decision or a thought that we should protect Ukraine, does not mean that you're siding with somebody like Biden. It's an independent thought. You can't say, well, you know what, I'm gonna think this way because I think this is how Trump would do. Well, what Trump is all about and has always been about.
This thing wouldn't have. You know what Trump would? This whole thing would. No, wait. This is important. I got to jump in here. We're approaching the end. Trump. This whole thing wouldn't have happened if Trump was the president. You want to know why?
Exactly.
Because Trump wouldn't have stood for it, and Putin would have known that, and he wouldn't have pushed it.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Exactly. It would not have happened. He says whatever he wants to say out in the media, but make no mistake of what he thinks about Putin. It's reality.
Mm-hmm.
Make no mistake. He doesn't talk out loud, really, about what he's thinking or what positions he's going to do if he was there. But make no mistake, he would do them, and it would never get this far.
Yeah, well, we're that far now. I mean, why? How can we be concerned? Why should we be concerned about the sovereignty of Ukrainians' border when our whole southern border is open and we're being invaded every second of every day?
Because one thing is, there's two things. We made promises a long time ago to Ukraine. They gave up their nuclear power. We made promises that we would take care of them. That's one thing. Number two, you talk about Ukraine not being sovereign. Ukraine was sovereign way before Russia invaded Ukraine. They were part of Poland. They invaded. They starved them. It was genocide. That was back in the 1500s. So you need to know your history that Ukraine...
Yeah, well, you know, where are you calling... A PhD, yeah. Where are you calling us from, caller? West Palm Beach. Well, hey, listen, in the 1500s, you were in Indian territory. I mean, you're calling me from U.S. occupied Native American Indian territory. So I don't know, you know. Well, no. Well, no. Because she said Ukraine in the 1500s was part of Poland, so it's not part of Russia.
Understand though, things happened along the way in this century that we made promises that, hey, listen, you give up your nuclear power, we're going to make sure that you're a sovereign nation.
Yeah.
We said we would do.
Okay.
Guarantee their safety.
Yeah. Okay.
That only matters if you want integrity from your own government.
From Biden, yeah. All right. Hey, listen. We've got to run for our break, so we'll give you the last word, caller.
We're not Biden. We are America. We are not Biden.
Exactly.
And I don't want to destroy America because Biden is president.
Okay.
Exactly. And
Exactly.
we're going to do what we need to do.
All right. Hey, listen. Thanks for the call. Ukraine. We should leave Ukraine alone. Let them handle themselves. Listen, we got to take our break, and when we get back, it'll be time for the Gold and Precious Metals Report. Back after this.
70, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, Tom Laporta here from Laporta Contracting, Roofing and Building Restoration. We survived the 2021 hurricane season. Now it's time to get your building envelope ready for the next season. Laporta Contracting installs all types of roofs, from asphalt, clay, and concrete, standing metal seam, flat roofs, and slate tile systems. Our building restoration offers complete envelope protection to include siding, stucco, concrete restoration, impact windows and doors, weatherproofing, and painting. Laporta Contracting serves single-family, multifamily, HOAs, and commercial properties. Call Laporta Contracting today for a free evaluation and estimate, and go to our website to see our team and past customer videos at laportacontracting.com. Our number is 954-604-9999. 4602. That number again is 954-604-4602. And thanks for listening to the Steve Kane Show.
I love my MyPillow towels. Unlike other towels, the MyPillow towel absorbs. They're soft to the touch. They come with a 10-year warranty, a 60-day money-back guarantee. Mike Lindell says towels that actually work. What a concept. But don't just take my word for it. Christine from Pennsylvania called live on the radio and shared her experience with her MyPillow towels.
I was just going to say, I bought the MyPillow, my towels, a couple weeks ago, and they are fabulous. They are the best towels I've ever used.
All land used to belong to somebody else at some point, if you go back far enough. Hey there. Great, hold on.
You know what's amazing to me about the MyPillow towels? Mike Lindell's a genius with his invention. It absorbs the water, and the towel's not soaking wet after.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, other towels, the water just kind of lays on top of them. They don't absorb it, and you're just smothering water, smearing around on your body. Now with the MyPillow towels, what color did you get?
I got the sage green.
Ooh,
But
yeah.
I'm going to order because I love purple, and I'm going to have to get a purple.
Man, my wife's ordering the purple too, and she says it doesn't match our bathrooms, but she likes the purple anyway, so we're getting purple. Exactly. All right, Christine, thank you so much. The MyPillow towels are normally $109.99, but with our promo code at checkout, Kane, K-A-N-E, just $39.99. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane.
All right, 49 minutes after the hour, it's time now to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Metals are looking good, Brian. We continue to make higher highs and higher lows, so that's a trend that's moving us to higher numbers of the precious metals as we start to try to build a base above $1,900 for gold now. Yesterday, we saw gold get up to $1,916 the ounce before pulling back on a little profit-taking, closing down $4.70 at $1,898.50 the ounce. Silver got up to $24.43 and then pulled back a little bit, closing at $24.08. That was up 17 cents. Platinum closed up $1 at $1,076, although we did get over $1,100 at one point yesterday. And palladium closed down $36 at $22.94. This morning we got gold up $2.50, back up over $1,900, $1,901 right now. Silver up 12 cents at $24.20 the ounce. Silver is building a nice base above that $24 number. And platinum up $4 at $1,080, and palladium up $61 at $355. We're seeing in the inflationary numbers, housing prices up dramatically this last year. We're going to see probably gold by May. I'm looking for gold to be over $2,000 an ounce by May.
By May. Oh, my. You hear that, guys? Now, oh, boy. Stop the press. Now, can you tell, and oil is going to be going much, much higher as well. Now, William Youngerman, all the metals at William Youngerman's are in stock and available for immediate delivery. And, of course, you can stop in person right here in Boca. But William Youngerman, for people that can't stop in, maybe they're local and can't make it to Boca, or they're out of state or even out of the country, can you tell people how they can do business and buy the metals from you, no matter where they're located, and what the benefits of that and buying from you are?
Yes, indeed. It's very easy. We ship metals and rare coins and precious metals all over the world and have for over 50 years. You just simply call us up, establish what you're looking to buy, lock in a price, and wire us the money or overnight us a check, and the metals are shipped within the same 24-hour period after we receive payment. Many times within hours after we receive a wire. So it's very easy, and they're all shipped fully insured and registered right to your door.
Yeah, and you will find that when, those of you that are out of town, out of state, even out of country, that when you purchase from William Youngerman, you will find much better prices than you do at some of these places you see advertised on television and online. You will get more metal for your money with William Youngerman is a way to say that. Here's the number. They open up weekdays at 10 a.m. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. The address right here in Boca. Yeah, go ahead, Steve. Oh, goodness! I think this year is going to be 17. Later this year when we hit hurricane season, because I remember it was right after Wilma. The address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road, right here in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto. All right, William Youngerman, looks like another great day for the metals. We'll check in tomorrow morning.
Okay, take care.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. $2,000 by May. Whew. Crazy, crazy times. All right, you want to take some more calls, Steve?
Let's do it.
All right, Juan has been hanging in there a while. Hey, Juan, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brian. Good morning, Steve. Hey, listen, going back to that that call about Ukraine. Listen, fast forward from 1500s to 1994, when Clinton signed off on the deal to give the nukes back to the Russians. Do you think that Putin would be pushing the Ukrainians' buttons had they had the nuclear weapon? Bad deal for the whole world.
Yeah, who made that deal? Was it Clinton? Clinton made that deal?
It was Clinton.
Yeah, so we should stick by Clinton. Clinton had deals, too, with Monica Lewinsky and Paula Jones. Yeah, he made a lot of deals.
Yeah, bad deal. That's why. But here's the other thing. We're learning how to push back. The convoy in Canada was nothing more than a mini MAGA peaceful protest.
Mm-hmm.
What we're going to do over here is be prepared, because I was disappointed when you said earlier today, Brian, that that January 6th was a setback. It was not a setback. We were infiltrated, but the people, the convoy down here on Eric Boland's show said yesterday, we're prepared for the flag wavers of the Confederate and Nazi.
Yeah.
To deal with them peacefully.
Well, you know, I've seen, and I got to tell you something, okay? I've seen on a couple of occasions when I've been up at Mar-a-Lago for events, these infiltrators come in and they try to rile up the crowd. And I remember one guy in particular. He had more. This guy was wearing Trump hat, Trump shirt, Trump shorts. He even had Trump socks on, and he was trying to rile up the crowd and get the crowd violent. This was up at Mar-a-Lago, and everyone said, "Get out of here, Fed. We're peaceful. Get out of here, Fed." You know, and it was,
That's the thing. We're new at protesting, but this time we're going to be prepared. And the other thing where I got to start with Steve on. All right, as much as Fox News has disappointed me in the past, Fox News is still the most powerful voice that we, of conservative mind, I'm not
absolutely
conservative, is the most powerful voice we had, as much as they have disappointed us. But, and until Fox, Newsmax doesn't get up there, I'm going to listen to those other people, those other voices, other than I'm going to pick and choose who I listen to at Fox. But thank you guys for always letting me time.
Well, no, thank you. Always welcome, Juan. Let me play another clip of Tucker Carlson's brilliant monologue last night on this wag the dog thing with Putin and Biden. Listen. Putin.
If you've been watching the news, you know that Putin is having a border dispute with a nation called Ukraine. Now, the main thing to know about Ukraine, for our purposes, is that its leaders once sent millions of dollars to Joe Biden's family. Not surprisingly, Ukraine is now one of Biden's favorite countries. Biden has pledged to defend Ukraine's borders, even as he opens our borders to the world. That's how it works. Invading America is called equity. Invading Ukraine is a war crime.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable, what Tucker said. You don't like that analysis? No.
It's very clever, and look, I'm a Tucker fan. I don't want to create the impression that I disagree with Tucker on a lot of stuff, but I don't. But when he goes off on something like this, I have to disagree. I mean, these poor Ukrainians are having the country taken away from them. This guy is acting like Adolf Hitler, and he's expanding, and he won't stop until he has to.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me play the one last clip. This is Tucker's brilliant monologue last night about everything going on here with Putin and Biden.
The administration assures us this has nothing at all to do with repaying Joe Biden's personal debts to Ukrainian oligarchs. Not at all. It's completely and totally unrelated.
Oh, please.
The point here is to defend democracy. Not that Ukraine is a democracy. It is not a democracy. Ukraine's president has arrested his main political opponent. He has shut down newspapers and television stations there to criticize him. So in American terms, you would call Ukraine a tyranny. But Joe Biden likes Ukraine, so Putin bad, war good. How will this conflict affect you? Will affect you quite a bit, actually. Energy prices in the United States are about to go way up, and that means that everything you buy will become much more expensive. From the food you eat, to the car you drive, to tickets you need to take your family on vacation this summer.
And the same thing would happen
if
we turned our back on Ukraine.
Okay. Well, I'm with Tucker Carlson. Steve's with Biden and Colonel Vindman. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay to disagree. I know. I would think you would be more anti-war. Yeah, that's true. Frankenstein's monster, Kane's monster. I would think you would be more peaceful, since your son could very well end up in this war.
You ever heard of peace through strength?
Yeah.
What this guy needs is to run up against it, and he will. And I hope it's not in Poland, but he could very well. It very well could be.
Well, we're out of time for today. You want to sign us off, Steve?
That does it for today. We thank you for joining us. Yes, we will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Starting with Brian, ending with me. Until tomorrow, God bless America.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right, that's it. Oh man, I tell you, I feel much better today not having the heavy headset on my head. Oh man, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Everyone, like the video if you haven't already, and if you could also please click the notification bell. All right, all that helps spread the word about this channel to other people that don't already know about me or don't follow me right now, and that helps me and of course Trump out a lot too. And all your support is very much appreciated, everyone. Thanks so much. I got to take off, but I'll see you soon. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day, everyone.